All right, make we do national debate today. Make we do national debate today. All right, let's see what we have here. I think we're all set here. I think we are all set here. All right, I think we're all set on YouTube and Facebook and TikTok. All right. We are all set. We are all set. Make we do national debate today. Otego. I mean, for a minute though, I've been doing national stuff, right? Not necessarily, but my next live is gonna be today is gonna be me and Choma, by the way. Let me see what's going on TikTok. She's gonna be here in a minute. While you're here, let's please like and share, please. While you're here, my hand they up. I beg, like and share. Help me like and share. That's how we get to the algorithm, on For You page. So we get more people here to join the show. So if you're here, thank you. Shout out to you. Buhari left ear joined. Buhari left ear. Thank you for joining. Let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. We're gonna have a good show today. Choma is gonna be our co-host today. This is like our Sunday bi-weekly, every other Sunday show. She's gonna be here in a minute, and we'll kickstart the show. It's going to be an interesting one for sure. So if you're here, please feel free to like and share. If you have opinions and thoughts on free and fair elections in Nigeria, I think it's going to happen. I think we can achieve it. And this is one of the areas where me I default person like Tinubu, right? Because you would expect a person like Tinubu at his age, at his his wealth, for him now at this point a legacy wingo they try to put together, right? That's what I would think, right? But it's just me. It's just me, right? It's just me. You go think say somebody at his age, his legacy, everything. Caesar One, thank you for the heart. Me, I appreciate it. Thank you for the gift. You go think say person at his age, now legacy you ain't gonna pursue at this point, right? That's what you would think. But unfortunately, we still see politicking, not even the good type of politicking, good, right? Good is kind of subjective, right? But not the smart type. Let me put it that way. Not the smart type. Boy, I guess in the Nigerian space, it's smart. It's smart for him to make 30 governors join his party. It's smart. It's smart politics. He's Jagaban. He's a strategist. This, that. All that good stuff, right? But me, just naive me, go to think say, I'm not naive. I would say I'm a hopeful guy, optimistic guy. I would hope that I hoped that regardless of how you take enter at this point, na legacy we ain't go to pursue. But unfortunately, it's just the same old. This is just the same old Jagaban. They say you can remove the fish out of the water, but you cannot remove the water out of the fish. China so they speak that English. How they speak no be fish. You get what they use, but no be fish. You can remove the something out of the something, but you cannot remove the something out of the something. You get the point, though. You get the point. So it's just same old Jagaban, right? No leave, no transfer. He just they do waiting we take Sabiam. He didn't have doesn't seem like he had plans of getting Nigeria to be a country where we say people go envy, in terms of how we they carry ourselves, giant of this, giant of that. It's a shame. It's a shame. All this boils down to this is the area me I gotta come from. This is the area me I gotta come from. But Choma obviously is going to have our own angle, and the guests as well are going to have their own angle, and we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, thank you guys for joining. Let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. Make we see what thing we do here. Let me see. I think we're live on Facebook. Make I validate that. Let me validate that real quick. I think we are live on Facebook, but let me validate that in a moment. Yeah, we are live on Facebook. And we should also be live on YouTube. I see that we are live on YouTube as well. YouTube people, feel free to leave a comment, and we're going to shout you out. That's the only way we can see you and shout you out. So please feel free to leave a comment and we go shout you out. And if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you'd like to join the conversation, feel free to follow us on TikTok at the Beer Parlor Podcast, and that's the only way we can bring you up. In the meantime, let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. All right. We'll get Choma here in a minute, and we'll get the show started. But from my own perspective, I think it's going to happen. But it's just going to take someone with a will, someone with the will. Someone will get the will. And I hoped that Tinubu would be that person with the will. Even though I know support him, never supported him or whatever, but in don't win, right? I hope that he would be that person with the will, we go come, waiting else I get to do for this life. I don't make money, millions and millions and billions and billions. Nothing else what I define for this life, right? Now my legacy now I go put together, If now me go make Nigeria better, now me go make free and fair elections, that one go be the thing. Where everybody go remember me, Jagaban, as if Namigo make Nigeria become that thing, because everything that we need done in Nigeria, it boils down to free and fair elections. Because if elections are not free and fair, crazies now ain't going to continue to lead us, right? And when crazies are leading us, what do you expect? You have someone like Ibazo, someone like Ojus Okalo, someone like in brother, what's around, Theodoji. You have successive bad governments. Not be free and fair election bring those people into governance, right? Not be free and fair election bring those people into governance. But if we have a system, an institution as election or whatever, right, that is free and fair, that works, we're not going to get people, we're not going to say, now by the grace of God, we get OTO. No, it will be by my vote. Now I make OT enter there. It will be by my vote, not by the grace of God. So all these things, I could just say, I would think that Tinubu, with everything, how he take win, everything, he's at this stage in his life, that he would say, no, now my legacy. Now, only my legacy. Now, I don't make billions of dollars. I don't make billions of money, dollars or naira, whatever. I don't know his pocket, right? But I've made billions and billions of money. So nothing else will fee entice me for this world now. Nothing else fee entice me for this world. I go make sure say everything, or this one go work, this one go work, this one go work, he go work. He has the capacity, but the will, I don't know about the will. Anyway, let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. Let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. Let me see. Make I do some small setup here for my mobile devices. And we're going to have a good show today. So if you're here, thank you. As always, my name is Kachi. I'm the host, and we're going to have our co-host here, Choma. She's going to join in a minute, and we'll get the show started. The show don't start already. I give my own small preamble. I'm giving my. And by the way, I have to say this, right? Man. The kids, man. The kids. It's a shame. I made I had two shows on that topic. So and it's something that we should all be talking about. Make we take a moment also, to talk about them, in our day-to-day lives. That's the only way we can put pressure on the government to go bring these kids out. The kids deserve to be with their parents. They deserve to be with their friends. They deserve to be with their family. The adults that are also, taken, they also deserve to be with their family. They deserve to do whatever they want to do. They don't deserve to be where they are right now. But I want to take this moment and just say that, because I don't think it's being said enough. Anyway, we're going to have a good show today. We are going to have a good show today. Let's keep liking, by the way. Let's keep liking. We need to hit 5K likes. Make we hit 5K likes. We're at 2.7 right now. Muna, thank you so much for liking. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking. I appreciate you guys. Let's see. All right. Let's see what we have here. All right, I think I see Choma requesting. Let me bring her up real quick. There we go. All right. And let me get this setting right. All right, save. Boom.
Hey.
Yep. Choma is in the house. Choma is in the house.
Hey guys. Phone day charger. Okay. Let
No
me see how we
wahala.
can prep this
No
inside this
wahala.
house.
No wahala. No wahala. You open today, I've been a TikTok hat you wear. Which is that a real hat? I've been a TikTok.
TikTok care.
Okay.
This is Ed Hardy now, vintage designer.
Okay.
TikTok.
Okay. I don't know TikTok hat with that. What is going on here?
I go wear person when no pay me for what?
Okay.
Fashion no, let me TikTok something.
I did tell you.
Ed Hardy.
Hardy. All
For
right.
Nigerians, they call him Ed Hardy, but it's Ed Hardy.
Ed Hardy. Okay. Nice. Shout out to Ed Hardy. Shout out to Ed Hardy, man.
Use my money back.
Okay. We'll take our shout out back. We'll take it back. Anyway, Choma is here and welcome. All right. Any small? I know make a no storm. You take your time and I know you said you're charging your phone, so take your time and do all of that.
No, I don't prop them. See as I put them for plants.
All right.
I don't put them inside the plant, so we should be good.
All good. Before we start, though, I know you guys had an event yesterday. How did it go?
It went well. I think that first of all, the event he's talking about is the Igbo conversation that was held on May 30th in Oka. It is an event that was hosted by a think tank and a strategy group that I belong to called Igbo Integration Movement. And so this is the first of its kind, and we began it in Oka. I was supposed to be there in person, but work obligations and family obligations meant that I had to do my speech from a recording.
Yeah.
But it went well.
Nice.
A day before that, we hosted some Igbo leaders, including the governor of Anambra State. We were in his state to a play called A Tale of Two Nnamdis.
Oh, okay.
You can watch it on YouTube as well. And there's also a documentary that follows it that documents the things that the Osu community went through in the hands of the Nwenomo, the IPOB, and the Biafra.
Yeah.
So over the coming weeks, there will be snippets of things. On my page, I've actually just posted the full my full speech.
Okay.
But you can, as you're following my page, you will see updates on that, or where you can find things. But YouTube is the best place. You can watch a documentary, watch the play. This is not just a Chioma thing or a group thing. One of the things that I loved hearing was the fact that Igbo leaders are listening, and they are, they have heard our rebuke, and we'll continue to rebuke them, and we'll continue to hold them by the blockers, which is so funny because whenever I hear people say they've paid you, I say, who paid me?
Yeah.
The things that happened in Ali Igbo became our responsibility because we are Ndi Igbo.
Yeah.
That's where we come from. So, conversations like this, to me, I think is long overdue because because we refuse to have these conversations amongst ourselves, they often come out more destructive. Onye kwuo esu obi ọkụ, onye kwuo agba bi ọkụ, onye jụọ ajụjụ, say, hey, the place where they lead us, we know to think say road dey there, say make them kill the person.
Yeah.
Those are the things that these type of conversations, I think that the older generation prided themselves on in intellectual sophistication, and I think that there has been a gap in the past couple of years. We have become a people who relegate our thinking. Make other people they think for us.
Yeah.
I don't want so much to think for you to tell you what to think. However, I do want you to start to question those things that you once held there, because it is in questioning those things and interrogating them that you either affirm that they are true, or you can realize, say, who's that here? Okay.
Absolutely.
And it is all for the betterment of Ndi Igbo and Ali Igbo. And Ali Igbo shall be great again.
Absolutely. I'm glad conversations like that are beginning to happen, especially young people are beginning to talk about it, because like you said, our parents, the older people, they also pride themselves in hiding. They won't talk about these things in public. So I'm glad that we are coming out in public and they use English, they talk them, make everybody hear them. It's not about hiding hanging your dirty linens. It's not about it. It's called accountability. It's called accountability because for so long we've let people like, I was on a show, paparazzi show just a few moments ago. And, you hear Igbo people come up and speak and you're like, man, these are the Igbo people, right? You will be Igbo person, you're going to say, man, these are the Igbo people, right? For so long, we've let people like that be on the center stage. I think we need to start turning it around. But today, obviously, no be Igbo conversation. Igbo conversations will always... Absolutely. Igbo conversations will always continue on this space, on Choma's space, on other spaces, paparazzi, Choma, obviously, Amarachi, a whole lot of spaces. Those conversations will continue on this space as well. But today, we want to talk about free and fair elections in Nigeria. And everybody's welcome. I know say we marginalize everybody. Not everybody. We marginalize people say, you're not Igbo. You cannot talk today.
Welcome today. This one, no, they were welcome before, but they were welcome as, viewers, as spectators, as, visitors, because those were internal conversations. So the word marginalization there, me and my brother, we were not marginalizing anyone, but there are conversations that are internal, because the damages were internal.
Absolutely.
But this one is Nigeria. It applies to all of us. So do not hesitate. Whenever Kachi opens the queue, feel free to come up and share your thoughts.
Absolutely. And I see someone requesting already. And let's just, I don't know, I don't think I've seen this name. The name is interesting, obviously. But I see you there. We're going to bring you up in a moment. But because I've not seen you before, you might be a new person on this show, whatever, right? It's a show where we have conversations. We're going to try to have conversations with you. The topic is there. We're not going to repeat it more than maybe one time. We would obviously introduce you to the topic and then we go from there. But with that being said, Choma, I'm going to have you, because before you came, obviously I gave a monologue, but I'm going to have you give a short monologue or, description on the topic for today before we get the show started.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Welcome wherever you are listening to us today. Hello. Nagode, all of those good things. I'm going to get into problem now because I know greet in other languages. But the topic of today is pretty simple. Usually after our debriefs, my brother Kachi and I will just try to have a quick chat of, how the show went, and through our conversations, other things come up. And through the conversations that you have with us on this stage as well, that is what actually brought this about. One of the reasons why we want to have this conversation very, very close to the elections is for a lot of young people, a lot of people in the diaspora, a lot of the people who feel like they want change. If you're one of those people, when you go on Facebook, you say, in a free and fair election, this. If in a free and this, you that desire free and fair election, all of us that desire free and fair elections, this conversation is for everyone. It's not centered to any particular candidate or any particular political party or political leanings or affiliations. Free and fair elections in Nigeria, is it a reality or illusion, right? And as you come up, you will tell us if you think it's a reality or an illusion. In my opinion, I do not think free and fair elections in Nigeria is an illusion, simply because it is not something that is not attainable to a certain degree, right? There are, of course, many steps ahead of us to be able to get there. But I don't think it's an impossibility, because whatever we consider free and fair elections in saner climates, whatever we are using to measure free and fair elections, I don't think is something that our people, Nigerians, Africans, cannot attain for themselves and within themselves. Is it a reality as of today? A little bit of yes and no. Yes, in the sense where there have been reforms, there have been laws that is being pushed towards that, with INEC, with the National Assembly, putting motions and laws in place.
Yep.
Where we have issues and where we have always had issues with everything that is systemic in Nigeria is in implementation. Because oftentimes, because we are not a people who think in systems, we don't think things through end to end. So can it be the reality of Nigerians that we don't have to think about elections, we just go cast our votes and everything just electronically happens or gets counted manually, and then the results are the results. And so I think is a possibility. I think African countries are obviously capable of governing themselves if they put their will to it. I'm going to, of course, speak more on this as we continue this conversation. So as you come up, bring us your fiercest debates, and let's have a good conversation today.
Absolutely, absolutely. I see the guest who was requesting. I see they dropped. So let's just go to the chats right now and see what's going on there. On Facebook, I see Adeyemi Akim Akinloye. Let's see. He says, "What exactly?" And I know you are referring to me, but I'm still gonna read through what you wrote. Adeyemi, Mr. Adeyemi on Facebook. He says, "What exactly are you blaming Tinubu for? Are you blaming him because governors are decamping to his party? The government is not taking anything easy about insecurity. Even US was here to do their own, but problem is still on. Anyway, you can blame him to some extent on insecurity anyway, but the government is doing its best, sir." All right. Yeah, I hear you on that, but I think you kind of conflated everything while I talk. When I mentioned the kids that are currently in captivity, when I mentioned them, I didn't mention Tinubu, but obviously he's the president, so maybe that one touched you a little bit. I mean, he has some responsibility in that regard, and I hope that Tinubu puts in more effort because they've been there for over 2 weeks now, and I think every well-meaning Nigerian would want to see those kids out of captivity. But that being said, the area where I specifically mentioned Tinubu was, in terms of the institutions, like his legacy, in terms of him becoming president. I never supported him. However, my hope was indoor enter. My hope was he was going to look more towards his legacy, not about politicking, because at his age, he's made a lot of money. Tinubu is a very wealthy man by any standard. Tinubu is a very wealthy man. I know now he has the power, but I was hoping that the next phase of his life would be about legacy, in terms of these free and fair elections we they talk about now. Even if not free and fair election, I go make sure, say, me do this free and fair election, rigging, stop for Nigeria. But it doesn't seem like that's the case for him. That's where I brought him in. But I think this is an objective argument. I don't know why, if someone makes an argument, it kind of, there's nothing you go talk with person, no go find, excuse to be mad at, right? But I'm just explaining that one. I don't know, Choma, do you have any thoughts on that one before I continue reading the chat here? Yeah.
Excuse me. I think because we want every type of person to be able to speak, I think that one of the things after we have these conversations that I realize is that most Nigerians are not patriots. I don't think they want a good Nigeria. I think they want a Nigeria that a proximity to whoever it is that is in power. And I find it ironic because Nigeria is not even about that life, right? Because political parties in Nigeria are not ideologically based. So I'm not exactly sure why Nigerians like to tear their minds like as much as we do about these things, right? Because at the end of the day, what I want is a Nigeria that is great.
Yeah.
For everybody. I couldn't care less who sits there. And there's going to be a time where we wouldn't care either who sits in Aso Rock if certain things are there. However, I think that when we have a president, now Tinubu is the president of everybody, not just the people who voted for him. So it means that when people are talking about the president of Nigeria, they are talking about the president of Nigeria. But of course, Nigerians are typically tribal bigots. And I mean all of you that were born and raised in Nigeria. And I don't say this to be exclusionary. I'm saying it because a lot of times Nigerians don't realize that they are that way until elections come. and you see the type of things people reason. If we're saying free and fair elections, why? And like he's president Kachi, he's Kachi's president. He's my president. He's the president of APC people. He's also the president of NDC people, ADC people, PDP people. He's the president of all Nigerians.
Yeah.
So critiquing the president of a country has nothing to do with a party. It has something to do with the fact that every Nigerian essentially either benefits or doesn't benefit from Nigeria, right? So, if the thing good tomorrow, if Nigeria good tomorrow, it will not just be good under the umbrella of you that voted. It will be good for me, for Kachi, for you, for every other person. So if you think Nigeria first, I think Nigeria first. I don't care who your fave is. Like, damn your faves, like, with all due respect, right? For this conversation, we are talking about Nigeria, all of us. Do you think it is that way? And I do agree. But you also have to understand that when people are thinking about second terms, and unfortunately it's always like that, right? When they're thinking about second, because when they're going in and they win, they're always thinking about the second. So me and you have this conversation about why not focus on the governance of the governance, right? However, the things that this administration focuses on, like, they're terrible at articulating it in a way that a country that is with a manage them like that kind of people.
Yeah.
There's a way communication has to be efficient and effective, right? And you have to tailor it to the stakeholders. And the stakeholders in this case are Nigerians themselves. So if there are a lot of things that the Tinubu administration are doing that the average Nigerian doesn't know is going to be beneficial to them in the next 3 years. But if the immediate problem is, for example, that Nigeria is hard for everybody, somebody has to hold the president responsible because he's the one sitting there now.
Right.
So that is not anti-Nigeria. In fact, that is pro-Nigeria. That is what a patriot is. A patriot is not the person who, when their person gets there, they become great, even if they are not doing great. Kachi, share you the grab with
I'm following.
Share the person they also grab and the person where they respond to.
I would hope so. Mr. Adeyemi on Facebook. I would hope so.
Adeyemi, yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's just what it is. Like you said, most Nigerians are, tribal bigots, and it's just what it is. It's just what it is. Unfortunately, it's what it is. But hey, let's keep reading the chat and keep the show going. All right. Akoko says there is no how rigging can stop except complete electronic voting. And then T says electronic voting cannot work. I don't know. Listen, I don't know why we always believe that Nigeria is a unique country where things cannot work. Like things that have been developed and functional in other parts of the world. Nigerians go, they're very insistent, say it cannot work here, it cannot work here. Why do you have that much conviction that something cannot work when you've not even tried it? It takes will, it takes leadership, it takes people who sabi what they do to do something to work. Look at the current, what's it called? The passport processing. I don't know, the interior minister, I don't know his name. I for shout him out right now, yeah? Passport processing now for Nigeria don't they very seamless, right? But maybe 10 years ago, person go to say it's not possible. But you have to put people that know what they're doing to do stuff. You don't just throw anybody in there and expect something to work, right? But hey, let's keep this conversation going and see what other people are saying here. Anyway, Akoko say, okay, I've read the Akoko one. Let me see who else is here. And we hit 12K likes, by the way. We hit 12K likes. So feel free to request, and we're going to bring you up, and we can have the conversation and hear your thoughts on this. All right, let's see. Choma looking beautiful as ever from Ebuka Precious. All right. Olu Adejumo says, great program. Keep it up. Thank you. But we want to hear conversations pertaining to the topic. They give us compliments. Leave the compliments. But we appreciate the compliments, though. We're not saying don't give compliments. But let's hear your thoughts on the topic. That's why we're here today. Anyway, True News, my brother. True News says, it's not about shame. It's barbaric of the kidnappers. He says we should condemn the criminals first, then government. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we condemn criminals. I mean, criminals are already condemned. There's nothing to condemn again. They're already condemned. They themselves know that they're already condemned. So that's why we need to skip past them, because everybody knows that they are condemned. So we need to skip past them and talk about governance to go get these people out. But make we know it matters, but I want to keep this topic to where we are, to where we are right now. And I appreciate you, Mr. True News. I know I brought that up, and I'm hopefully going to bring it up more during the course of this show today, because those kids, their lives matters, the family's life matters, the adults' life matter as well. Anyway, let's see who else is here. True News says, where is 100% free and fair election ever happened in the world? Even Trump complained. All right, now let's talk about that one. That's a good one. So now, when we put the topic free and fair, we don't say 100% free, 100% fair. Relative free election. Let it be relatively free and fair. Relatively. It's not the Nigeria own is too obvious now. On election day, you will see chaos everywhere. I mean, the Trump that you're mentioning, do you see chaos on election day in the USA? We don't see it. But yes, there is still corruption somewhere, right? But, Nigeria own, turn on the news on election day. Chaos. Look at the APC primary election. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 200, 205, 250, 300. Come on now. We saw this thing we see these things. We cannot close our eyes and act like it's not happening. When I say free and fair, I'm not saying 100% free. Nobody would 100% free and fair, right? I don't think anybody in his right mind would say that. I don't know if there's any place in the world where there is 100% free and fair election. If anybody knows, please tell me too. But anyway, Choma, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, in terms of what we're talking about too is, and what we're talking about is not perfection, right? It's being able to. There's a point where the populace, the people themselves, have to buy in. Like when you go to. When people go to vote or something, they come out and they say they were doing LP or they were counting the votes themselves. But one of the things, and I think when we go into the conversation, we'll get to it, is understanding just how complicated Nigeria is as a system, and as it's a really, really large country, right? So if you don't make things layered and systemic, you can have the right idea inside your mind, say you want to make this thing free and fair. But that's, like I said, the implementation, not in the doing, because it not be even the person will be the governor, the president, or the House of Rep. Now, all of the people where they behind them, right? Because for you to show that you are doing working to your principal, you have to win a ward, win a polling unit for them, right? So the reason why it's not systemic is that even if at the very top, you do what you're supposed to do on the, at the NAS floor, you get the law part right, and then you get the policy part right, and then you get even the will part right. Like, let's do that. We're not going to give Nigerians brain transplants, right?
Yeah.
Because you're talking about doing automatic reporting in a place that Nigerians forget that Nigeria is still largely rural. I think because some of us have lived in towns or cities in Nigeria, or semi kind of towns or whatever, we tend to think that the whole of Nigeria is that way. So how do you make things systemic in that situation, that from the top to the bottom, from the bottom to the top, that everybody is applying that same will that all of us want, that free and fair? That's what Kachi is saying, that it won't be perfect. Like, nobody's expecting 0 to 100. But there's a reason why people are assuming, where are they getting this mindset that the elections are not free and fair? Because essentially, if they're not the ones voting, they know people who voted. There's a reason why the average Nigerian feels like when their own principal wins in a certain place, that it was not rigged. But if another person wins, it was rigged. Why is rigging part of our understanding of that? That's where that free and fair elections in Nigeria, reality or illusion, comes in. When you're trying to answer that question, you have to ask yourself, it's still perception.
Yeah.
Because even when the law has been made, even when the judiciary, the legislature, even the executive have the will to do it, how do you do it in a country of 200 million plus people, where if you go to your village right now, just to even do elections and stuff, people don't already tell you what it will take to win that ward. You will say, oh yeah, digital. Remember to have this thing on lock, where you remember when the Electoral Act, wrote about what, sort of happens when you try to sort of digitally report and there's no internet. Even the places where there's internet, human interference is likely, because Nigerians are that type of people. We don't like to think that we are that type of people. We don't talk about corruption as if it's just politicians that do. That ward chairman, that is the polling unit person where they collect that vote, did they not hear what he said in the Electoral Act? Why are they? Because politics is always about that thing that you have to get an upper hand for the other person. If my person doesn't win, me, I don't get into power. How do you change the thinking of people to even start holding themselves responsible in that chain? That's where that reality and illusion comes in. Because it's like, if you want it to be a reality and you know somebody who's a ward chairman, have you asked the ward chairman how they count votes in their ward? Do they use pen and paper, sometimes pencil, so that they go fit his chalet, then use pen right over? That's why whenever you see the manual results, it always has scratchy. You're gonna say, are you in nursery school? Can't you read? Why would you be making? So those are the things that we want to see, all those things happen. But how do you make it happen at that level? If somebody's coming up on stage, that would be a question that I would also want us to engage on. These things that you want to happen, how do we make it happen?
Absolutely. And Chioma, I'm going to push back on a few things you said. First of all, make I give get this philosophy where they carry. And I truly believe in it, because any man-made problem, I think that if any man-made problem, there is a solution for it. I just believe that, right? This saying of, and you said it, you said Nigeria is a very large and complicated country, and Nigeria is also very rural. A large part of Nigeria is rural. That's a fact. I'm not disputing that, but I'm just pushing back in the sense of Nigeria is not the only country that has rural areas, right? America, China has rural areas. America has rural areas. There are counties in America that have 10 people. A county, this is a local government. 10 people, 20 people, 80 people. They have elections there. They conduct elections there. The elections are not, it's not widely chaotic. People go put their vote whoever they want to vote, and go home. And their votes count. You see what I'm saying? I know there are other factors you might push back and say, oh, okay, hunger is there, that's what. But yes, but we're saying let them vote. Whether not hunger, make them vote. Let them just vote. Let it be free and fair. Bob Marley also said, if there is will, if there is a will, there is a way. I mean, if there is a way, there is a will. I don't know how you take talk, but you get the point, right? If there is
a will, there are sorrows.
There's a way, right? There's a way. Yeah. So now, when you say it's possible. I'm not saying the corruption no in Nigeria, but if Tinubu has the will, there can be a way to curb these things. Take, for instance, this is just me thinking off the top of my head, right? Take, for instance, body cam has become a thing. Become a thing, right? Yeah. It doesn't have to be connected to the internet. It can store the data locally. Every INEC person, individual, where they go, wherever, rural, urban, wherever you're going, have a body camera on you, so that everything where they do is monitored. Then when you come back, submit that and you go get security with you, so that come back, say, when they shoot bird, the mama can't fly. We don't see the camera again, the camera can't lost. You know what I'm saying? You will get security with you.
Do they use I get your point.
You see where I'm going with that, right?
Votes do get counted. Remember, we're talking about the different layers of, that's what I'm saying about the system end to end, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about counting votes. Let's even say you have passed the level of, okay, they don't buy votes, they don't do any of that, they don't even give you gala, they don't count the votes. They don't tally the votes. does the vote that they tally, where does it go? It goes to the collation center. Uh-huh. That place is a rot, another layer in that system that does not exist end to end. So my
Body
agreement
camera.
with you,
Body
and I
camera.
agree with you.
Yep.
Sorry.
Body
No,
camera.
but even in America, there's no camera.
I'm not saying
No,
in America. I'm not
I
using
get it.
America. I'm saying
No,
in
no, I'm not
America, the
using
collation
America, but
centers
I'm
have
using
cameras.
legal. I'm using. There are usually restrictions about these sort of things, and they're usually.
Let me give you an instance. In the, I don't know if it was 2020 elections, there were cameras in those collation. I don't know what they call them in America, but there were cameras in those collation centers that the other party used the footage from those offices to see where boxes were being moved. Right?
Yeah.
Cameras were there.
CCTV cameras.
CCTV cameras were there. That's what I'm saying.
Like, okay, I get, you're saying like there has to be visibility where
yes,
another party that is not inside there needs to be able to get.
Absolutely.
Then, of course, I agree. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Cameras are there. But I'm saying we don't have to copy America, right? But now I'm just using the camera own. We can have the CCTV cameras for our case. They say if there is a will, there is a way. Our own corruption done too much. You have to go extreme with it. Give them body cams. Make we see what's in their interactions. Let's see what they're doing. How they are using their hand to scratch off the paper
and
where they write 50.
Reporting first before they scratch it off, right?
All that stuff, all that good stuff.
If you send in 20 and then later on you scratch the 20 because Oga don't call you, say
right?
something, but you've already sent it in, right? Because if you've already sent it in, that's the data that then counts.
Absolutely.
Whatever you now scratch, so
it doesn't matter.
Yes, it's putting the measures in place to block off all of the bottlenecks and the potential bottlenecks.
Absolutely.
But we still arrive at the thing that I submitted in the first place. When you're designing any system end to end, that's when you then figure out where the K-legs will be, the bottlenecks will be, and the gaps will be. Because we are not a people of end to end, right?
But every system has to be designed for the people. Every system has to be designed for the people that will use the system.
That will use it.
We cannot design system and copying what America. No, we are designing a system for Nigeria, knowing that Nigerians are inherently corrupt.
Yes.
Inherently, we get problem with corruption. You go design system where they like that, right? You see where I'm going with that, right?
No, you're absolutely right. I get you now.
All right. But yeah, we have a guest here, Mr. Oye. Make we bring Mr. Oye up and have a conversation with him. Mr. Oye, he's a regular on our show, so let's bring him up and hear what he has, his pushback or his agreement or whatever it is. Let's hear that. All right, Mr. Oye, thank you for joining.
Good evening, my brother.
I greet you.
Good evening, my sister. Afternoon, I did there. Sorry, so one of the biggest problems is understanding the system.
Your voice is kind of muffled. I don't know.
It's my fan.
I see.
So I switched off the fan. Yeah,
all right. Thank you. So that we'll go hear you enjoy the conversation. Thank you.
It was directly facing me, so I removed it.
Thank you.
It was going to be. So now, the biggest problem of Nigeria election rigging does not happen after the election has been counted. Now, if we are people that think the election is being rigged after it has been counted are making a huge mistake. You see, this is the process of the election. People come in the morning. They use 2 hours, 2 to 4 hours to authenticate them. After the authentication, then they line up again, then they vote. After they vote, you stand in that spot, or you can go home. Then at the evening, 4 o'clock, when everybody has voted, the votes get counted in the presence of everybody. Now, after the vote has been counted, every available party agent, I wanted to say every party agent. Normally it's supposed to be every party agent, but then is available because some parties do not have party agents. So every available party agent then signs the document. They get a copy. Every party agent will get a copy, and then the policeman every polling unit is supposed to have a policeman.
Mm.
Then the policeman at that polling unit gets a copy.
Mm.
You see now? And then the last copy is then taken to the collation center. Not collation center, is the local government. So every election, some local government we have about 70 polling units, right? Because it's about 3 polling units at each ward, depending on how many wards you have in your local government. Some local government have about 15 wards or 20 wards. So when you multiply that, it will give you, some have about 70, whereas some just have about 40. So now it then gets taken to the local government. What gets calculated at the local government is that EC8 form that every party agent signed and got a copy. That every available party agent signed and got a copy. That also a copy was given to the policeman. You see how many people already has the copy? Now they now calculate the result now at that the local government. They send the result to the state secretariat. When the result gets to the state secretariat, so you now have the result at the local government level. They send the result that is being collected at that space to the state secretariat. They do not send the EC8 anymore. The EC8 is just byproduct. They will not recalculate the result anymore. They only calculate what is the result at the local government level. So now all the local government of that state now brings their result to the state secretariat. They now count it together again. So now let me break it down again like this. If at each polling unit the result is 70, or let me say 10 for APC, then there are about 70 local government, about 70 polling units in that local government. By the time it gets to the local government, all the 70 polling units, they now write the result. 70 for APC is there. You now understand. So is that 70 for APC? There is not the 10 anymore. It's just the single 70 that then gets taken to the state secretariat. Now every local government now will now bring the 70 from their local government to the state secretariat. The state secretariat will now count all of them together, then send it to Abuja. That part is where we see. Now, in all this process, where do you think they would have been able to change the result? And at every of this process, each party agent is available to sign that this result that just got collated is accurate. The answer is none. Now, does it mean that there is no rigging? Or does it mean that the election is accurate? The answer is no. And you see, the last election, I was telling people, and I say it confidently, I am a Baptist, I am a supporter of this administration, and I campaigned for Bola Ahmed Tinubu the last election. But if he doesn't win, it doesn't change my life. So it doesn't change anything. So I want I want you to know the process. I want you to be educated about the process. So you know how the election is being rigged.
Absolutely. But in a case, and I was trying to find the IREV, but right now, I don't find the IREV, but IREV is not showing me like 2023 elections. It's only showing me 2026 elections, and the EC8 forms that I'm seeing, they all look good, right? But we've seen EC8 forms in the past where a lot of TPEX, they use TPEX, they clean, canceling, all that good stuff. Why again, I agree with you, right? If the polling agents sign off and say yes, that's the number, what are we going to do about it, right? What are we going to do, or what are they going to do about it? So I hear you in that regard.
So I also worked as polling unit agent before I left Nigeria. The result that when you see TPEX being crossed, the party agent must sign
That's what I'm
any
saying.
result.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yes.
even if there's stipends,
Yeah, so-
as long as party agent sign, then it's valid, right?
Yes,
So I hear you. Yeah.
exactly. So it's valid. So
Yeah.
if your party agent sign when they change the results, it means your party agent disagree with you. It means your party agent not like you. He agreed to send the candidate to set the result. But you know, these things happen. Is human error a whole lot of times that make them to use TPS to correct those things. It's not because they are changing results.
It could be both. It could be both, though. We can't eliminate one. It could be both. You can't say
Okay,
it's just
I'm
human error. It could be both, right?
That is extremely minimal if you want, because if you look at the
I don't know that it's minimal. It could be 50-50%. It could be 50-50 on both sides. It could be human error 50%. It could be that they're changing result 50%.
I mean the result that you will see that has TPS changing is extremely minimal.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's not up to 1% of the total election.
I hear you.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear you.
So now, meaning that is where you rig. Now, at polling unit level, some result is just 40. Majority is 20, 30, 15, 10. So if we are saying that the polling unit that are being changed, I'm going with your line that is being changed, is not up to 1% of the total election, and we are talking about vote of just 10 votes.
And that's a very good argument. And that's a very good argument.
To change the result of the election. Now, how is election being rigged in Nigeria? If after the election has been counted, there's so many evidences. People are recording while the election is being counted. There's so many evidences that you cannot change the election after it's been counted.
See, and I'm with you on that. Just so we know. But hear me out. I'm with you on that.
Please, let me tell you this.
Just hear me out. If once the results get to Abuja, it's like in the time of Jega didn't change anything. Jega just called or read out what he got. He didn't do any manipulation there. Yeah, I hear you in that regard. I agree with you in that regard.
I jump a process, so let me tell you that process. You see, after at the polling units, before they take the result away, they are obligated to write the result on the wall. Anybody that has participated in the election knows this. They are obligated to write the result on the wall at that polling unit before they leave.
Yeah.
So that me and you can go there to just go and see the result by ourselves in case we were not there.
Yeah.
So people ride bike around in villages to be going through all those polling units to be writing those results. Okay, now the results here when nobody is there. So you are obligated to write it. Now this one is not an advice. You must write it there.
Absolutely.
Before you leave there.
Definitely, I agree with you, because every polling unit they write the results on, just like they go check your, like, if I don't know if you go school for Nigeria, I'm guessing. So when your result come out, they post them for board. Everybody go there, go check their results and stuff.
Exactly.
But let me ask you so that we'll go move forward with this conversation, right? In terms of free and fair, the rigging and all that is part of it. But how about the human interference in terms of you go see people, they carry ballot box, they snatch ballot box? How about that regard? What do you think about that?
That's where I want to come.
Okay.
So now, how does the election get rigged in Nigeria? The biggest rigging is buying of votes. Now, the second biggest rigging is voters' apathy. How do they create voters' apathy? They know. And that is where you see there is the Electoral Act. I take my time to read these things because I'm bored and jobless a whole lot of times.
So, get a job. Get a job.
So the thing is, how do they? So now they calculate. The Electoral Act says if there is a violence at any polling unit, the election of that space get cancelled.
Yeah.
It does not count at all. So the moment all they need to do is to just shoot gun, boom. Everybody scatters. The election in that place will not be included.
Yep.
Now these people have a level of, and that is why we call it election machinery. they understand and know where they are losing. And all that needs to be done for that election not to be part of the election is to create chaos in those places. Sometimes it's just two people you go say, why you match my leg? Why you match my leg? Small thing, you don't break bottle.
Yep.
Boom. Everybody scatter.
Yep.
That election is gone.
There is, I think, that again, this is me, or maybe I'm just a little bit too optimistic, right? But again, I think for every man-made problem, solution day. This problem where they talk about now, the solution now to get somewhat of an, make you not just be outdoor again, even if not church. For instance, Redeem get church everywhere, pretty much everywhere. I'm just using an instance here. Let this voting be indoor. Make you no day for like outside where you would see. Give me a second here. Let me solve this puzzle real quick. Because if it's outdoor, I solved that puzzle. If it's outdoor, that's when you see all these actors come out and do things like what you just said, right? If people they outdoor, they queue up to vote, right? And person come boss bottle, they don't cancel that one. But if it's indoor, the ballot box is actually indoor. You walk into the entrance, the building, and you vote your thing and get out. Whatever happens outside doesn't count, as long as it doesn't get into the building. But Mr. O, if you want to help me round up on that note so that we can move forward.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So, as you said, there are also some places where they do indoor.
Yeah.
And that it did not solve that problem. For example, in my hometown, there are many polling units where the elections are actually carried out in the classrooms. So you are lined up. But it does not that has to happen is people jumping or creating some sort of chaos, and then they can run into the place, and then
that's why you have security.
Happens,
that's why you have security. That's why you have security.
Yeah, how many security? So now I think the total security of Nigeria is about, for police, I think we have about 200,000 police. How many across the whole country? Now we have 176,846 polling units. 176,846 polling units. It means on election day, you have to deploy all your police at 111 to every polling unit.
Let me now help you so that we'll go move forward for sure. The INEC is an institution of Nigeria, and Nigeria own that institution, just like pipelines. Pipelines now also Nigeria own that infrastructure, right? Nigeria they pay people to protect pipeline. Why can't Nigeria pay people to protect our polling units? But Mr. Oye, again, you can say we've tried it, it didn't work. I don't believe so. If we get the will, if someone like Kachi can sit here and be coming up with these random ideas, which I know you too can do, these things can be done.
Your idea increases the budget.
Budget. Increases the Look at the cost. Look at the cost. Let's look at pipeline own. Regardless of how much you're paying these guys that are protecting that pipeline, right? Nigeria makes more money because it's better for the pipelines to be intact.
That is paying them.
Whoever is paying them. Whoever is paying them.
Is NNPC.
Now China get an NPC?
No, okay, it's
all right.
A little bit complex.
All right, Mr. Oye, and absolutely.
So it's NNPC and shared. So you
all right.
I can send you their contract. So NNPC makes money. They are not making money only for Nigeria. They are making money for their shareholders. Absolutely. But Mr. Oye, we need to move forward though. So let me just round up.
Okay.
Will our election be ever free and fair? The answer is it will depend on what you call free and fair in its totality. Because you have some people make the argument, this, that. Can our election be electronically? The answer is in the next 20, 30 years, it's not going to happen. So we should take that out of the table.
Our election is already electronic. I don't know what you mean by next 20 years.
Our election is not yet electronic. There's only one country voting electronically.
Mr. Oye, it is. IREV no be electronic. Waiting be electronic.
They are not voting with IREV, and that was what the court
hear me out. But electronic is part of the system. So that makes our voting system electronic. Whether you put your vote with electronic, we're not solely like dependent on just manual stuff. We use electronic in some areas of our voting system. So
IREV is just a viewing portal.
Does INEC use IREV?
No, IREV does not use INEC. INEC does not use IREV, and this is where people are missing.
So who uses INEC then?
Wait.
No. Who uses INEC?
It's for
who uses IREV? I mean,
Me and you.
Who puts the EC8 form into IREV?
IREV put it so that you can see
No,
it.
who puts the EC8 form into IREV?
INEC.
So how do you say INEC does not use it? If INEC
they do not use it to collate the election.
I did not say that. I'm saying they use it as part of their system. They use it as part of their system. Doesn't that make our system electronic? My logic no makes sense.
It doesn't make it electronic.
All right.
At least the collation and counting has to be done electronically to make it electronic.
I don't know. Even America, I'm not sure say America, they use electronic, they count their votes. They count their votes manually.
It does. They are machine and
they count their ballots manually for America. They count. Maybe then they use electronic to.
Once there's dispute, then they now count it manually.
All right, Mr. Oye, make we move forward. Yeah. We agree on so many things, but on the technicality now we are disagree. But I make we move forward. You can stay put, in the chat obviously, and keep supporting us.
In the chat,
absolutely, okay. I appreciate you, Mr. Oye. Make we bring another guest up. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Would they like now these kind of conversations? Would they like to get? Conversations will not just be one way. We want to have disagree, agree, or all that good stuff, right? But thank you again, Mr. Oye, for joining. Make we bring Davis in. I think Choma, our co-host, had to run, but hopefully she'll be back. And I hope you're okay, Choma. I hope everything is okay over there. But thank you, Mr. Davison. Make we hear your thoughts on this topic.
Thank you, my chairman. I think this is Beer Parlor, where we discuss political matter, right?
Yeah, we discuss everything, but today is just free and fair elections in Nigeria. Reality or illusion? What are your thoughts?
Free and fair election reality it depends. I would say both. The reason why I have this opinion is because of what happened in 2023 general election. You will agree with me. First of all, I just want to come up like this in the sense that for Nigeria election is majorly electronic, because that is where I'm going to come from when you ask the question that reality or illusion or something like that. You will agree with me, before the election, there was some call that came at that time that some persons are trying to manipulate the back-end server.
Which one are we talking about, America or Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Okay, because I don't want to discuss American voting. Nigerian voting.
I'm talking about Nigeria.
All right.
If you also agree with me, one of the lady that came to testify in court was a solution architect. That came how everything was distributed, how they switch off IREV and everything. So the point here is this. Based on what I know before now, Nigeria election, they use AWS Cloud.
Okay.
So whenever you vote, they upload this result to what? IREV.
Okay. Mr. Davison, we don't necessarily want to go into the technicalities of how the voting works in Nigeria.
No, the reason why I'm saying all this is because someone came, I don't want to mention people's names, that Nigeria election cannot be technological this, cannot be that.
All right, but that's not the topic, and that's why I'm trying to, bring you back to the topic. The topic here is free and fair elections in Nigeria. Is it a reality or an illusion? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's reality. That is where I'm going.
Okay.
Because it's reality on the condition that the opposition class are willing to do the needful. I'm getting it. What is free and what is fair? Election in Nigeria, so far, we cannot have it 100% free or fair, But there are some elements, like what the last speaker said, whereby you see some talks coming in to destroy some political, maybe polling units and all of that. And he also mentioned voter apathy, which is my own number one area where they normally cause all these things. And that is where Nigerians, the responsibility, the onus is on Nigerians if they really want their country back. It's not even the person of Atiku or Peter Obi. It's Nigerians, because those people have presented themselves, okay, vote for me. This is what I want to do. Are you people tired enough? So where is the reality coming in here? Is if Nigeria actually want to come out and vote, there will be a realistic approach or getting that this thing. How did it happen in 2020, Jerry, if I remember the year, specifically in Edo State? Oshomole and the current president, Tinubu, they came together that they want to impose another governor to Edo State people. They all came out and said, this can't happen. They all came out and voted Obaseki. That was the second term. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
I was in one polling unit where they were doing this voting. They came with extra PVC. When I mean PVC, I saw hundreds of thousands of PVC. They were sharing it to people for that my units. So what happened was that those guys will collect that PVC, collect that money, and see went ahead and voted Obaseki. You getting my point? The agent that was supporting the APC then, the guy will not say, do you mean, in my presence, not that he said it, I heard it from his mouth, that do you mean after this will collect my money and see vote the other way around? That is where Nigerians will come in, that no matter the manipulation, they will be able to, bypass or be able to subjugate all this political class.
I was going to push back on the PVC. So the PVC now, if somebody brings a random PVC and gives to somebody where you know much, the voting process, isn't it that you carry your PVC, you put them somewhere, card reader, you put them for card reader, you go read the PV, you go read your, then then they'll look at you if you resemble the person. Not be so then they vote for Nigeria. So how?
I agree with you. Once election, it's easy to say like that is how they look at your face, this and that. See, at that moment, they will just look at you. It did not pass. Okay, it's my person. Let him go. Let the person go. Before you know it, everything goes. I was there. I monitor everything. I was there. I've been there. I've been witnessing the election.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I'll take your word for it, but my understanding of voting, now say you go do accreditation first, so you go put them for one machine, card reader. The card reader go bring out your information, look your face. If you resemble the person, then go use your thumbprint, then make sure say now you be the actual person. Maybe you don't grow beard, grow hair, all that good stuff. You look a little bit different and all that, right?
That same polling unit and I told you about, so somebody voted 4 times. My presence. 4 times.
Which year be this thing they happen?
I don't know the second term of Obaseki. That should be 2020, right? I can't remember. It should be.
Was this a rural area or was it more of like a town? Like
I'm talking about town. Town.
It's a town. Okay.
Santi Barak.
One person voting.
That's like more of like a city, town, urban area. It's not rural at all.
I'm talking about the university environments.
Oh, okay. Where people are educated and should know better, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother, again, I've been talking to, I go take your word for him, but you still they bring more come. This is why I say person vote 4 times. How is one person, I mean...
I was just about to ask my follow-up question. So when they vote 4 times, like walk us through what that looks like.
The point is, that is where the manipulation comes in.
No. Tell us, like, how do they count it? Like, how does that? Does he take the card, go to another line, like, walk us through
how he take the output?
Yeah. Like what I know, like the last speaker said, voter app party.
No. I'm asking the one you saw where you said you saw 4. A person voted 4 times. So I'm saying, like, walk us through like how they did that. Was it like they take the PVC,
I'm going there.
Go to one line?
I'm going there. Before then, remember, they all know each of those polling units. They clone all the PVC. And once you collect, you go back to that line. Nobody monitoring you. Nobody knows you. They can even go and pack some persons out and bring in. Are you getting my point? Just to come and vote.
Yeah. I didn't hear you, my brother. But I don't know. It's a little bit hard for me to even take your word for it.
It's a little, because even now, and now I'm not saying that you didn't see what you saw.
Yeah.
I'm saying that we want to sort of understand, because we didn't see what you saw. So I'm trying to imagine and work out how one person voted in one election with
even
one
when this thing was going on.
Did they use 4 different PVCs or 4 different
four
people?
different PVC. 4 different PVCs.
So, but the whole point is, so how is the accreditation happening? Is it like they get accredited and like, that's what I'm saying. Like, give us the details from there.
Is I don't know. I cannot go in detail because I'm not the agent. I'm not
No,
the.
you
No,
said
no,
you
I'm coming.
witnessed it.
Hold on. The
Now
word
you can't
witness.
tell me say
Calm
you
down.
witnessed them. I'm
Hold
just
on
saying
now.
we
Calm
were
down.
not there. Tell
What
us. That's
I
what I'm saying.
witness is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Remember when
Okay,
you
so
go
did you witness one person vote with 4 PVCs, like 4 different PVCs, and get through and actually vote?
I said one person voted 3 to 4 times.
Hmm.
Would I be lying because of what? Are you paying me for lying
All
or
right.
to say the truth?
All
That's not
right.
even what I'm asking you, but it's
Hold-
okay. That's
All
fine.
right, Mr.
You
Davison.
saw it, then we didn't see it,
Yeah.
then we take your word for it. Fair enough.
Me to even talk say I go take the word now, can't they had me for mouth. But I hear you, my brother Davison, for coming and sharing your thoughts. And again, you agreed with Mr. Oye. Voter apathy also follow the cause
Yes.
vote buying and all that good stuff, right? So at least we agree on one thing. But thank you for joining. We need to move forward. Appreciate you.
Hold on,
I
I'm not
didn't.
done.
All right.
Continue.
Kachi, sorry about that. I had a few disruptions
No
because of
problem. No
incoming
problem.
calls. So, one of the challenges with Nigeria is, you know, this is probably where I'm going to concede a little bit for my brother Kachi with the body cams, because Nigeria is not a camera first place. A lot of the things that people talk about is hearsay. Like, you could be inside a church and I wear benazo. They do po in the back. The person will say, "Were you an eyewitness to what happened?" They say, "Yes, I was there." You know, see what happened, but in there the building, it was close enough, because for the things you didn't see and you didn't know, because you were already there, they go fill them out with the rest of the things. So that's why I was asking about that specific about because when you accredit someone, because it first started like the person voted, so I'm like, how is that possible? Now let's even leave that part. The reason, in my opinion, that a lot of young people are the ones who shout about free and fair elections is because I think that by the time you're saying in a free and fair elections, this particular person is going to win, it means you have already admitted to a particular limitation. And my question is always, why are you starting now to have that fear? Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
And as we go into this conversation, I will bring in another layer of that, which is that these people who talk about free and fair elections, they don't talk about free and fair elections for their House of Rep, for their state assembly, for their local government chairman. Because this free and fair election barrier that we are talking about, or the blocker that we are talking about, is so rooted in the system that you don't notice that it's not free and fair when somebody from Umunen Negi get win now. You know, the votes counted in that place. You did not see when 4 people carry the votes, and the woman that, you know, he gave 250K during Christmas is now, we don't notice any of those things. Isn't it weird that we kind of sort of notice it for particular elections? It's almost like those other times we don't notice it. And then when we clock the limitations, you say, okay, I like the practical solutions people are giving in the chat. I wish that some of them can come up, right? Cliff, I better come up. Where they're putting very specific things, because that means they are realist and they are practical, because Nigeria is not a 0 to 100 place.
Yep.
We start with the small things. Kachi said cameras. I said, oh, CCTV cameras, because sometimes the American part of my brain assumes it's there, but it's not, because when you really think realistically, you're like, there are so many places that we could have saved so much from crime, from whatever, if we just had basic, just the most basic CCTV camera, even if it's grainy, right? We're not even saying facial recognition technology. We're just saying, just give us video. Make them go house and house, say, you know this person, you know this person, you know this person. Right. But my challenge oftentimes is people say, oh, in a free and fair election, And when you ask them, what does that look like? Oh, you know, I was in a line and I saw that there was 20 people. Okay, because so in the places that you believe the person is, maybe like, there are certain places like Lagos, like certain towns, like Abuja, all those places that are cosmopolitan type of cities where, even if you don't tell people to monitor, they could probably have glasses, like these Meta
Yep.
glasses, for example, or like they're really popular. A lot of Nigerian people just have them as their prescription glasses. So
Yeah.
I think that these are things that people can utilize on their own outside of, waiting for this system that may never come. Because again, every politician's job is to win an election. And oftentimes, and it is a very sad reality, but when it gets to the nitty-gritty, for the people who want to have power, they know at the very bottom level, at that ward level, say all of those things, they happen. They don't block it.
Yeah.
Then the populace, especially the young people, the educated people, those people who don't vote in their own local elections, will now come and just be, giving us the philosophy of, in a free and fair election, this will happen.
Yeah.
Free and fair elections are created in the off season. Because if you wait till election, 6 months into election or whatever, those systems that you say don't matter, those structures you say don't matter, you have no ownership or control of them.
Yep.
In my community, for example, I'm from Ezinihite, right? Now, in the polling units in Ezinihite and the wards in Ezinihite, these people who are shirting in a free and fair elections, you probably don't even know who controls those things. Like, so that even if you want to preach, be me Akachi, you go to tell, you go say, "Nam gaga na village, ga wuri so this man." Or if you say I blow, we go blow. If you want do we go march, we mount. No, we are mounting in cities, and we are typing in outrage and imaginations, and that's probably where that illusion. I said it could also be part of the illusion. We have this, but it's more like delusion. We have this sort of delusion that in a free and fair, in a saner climate, in a whatever, but in those saner climates, people had to do the work over and over again. The people I'm talking about now, I'm not talking about politicians though. I'm talking about us, the people who are witnesses, who are standing in line, who are the ones who we saw. I saw the time that something was something. I've been in a coalition center. Dude, I slept in the back of the truck. That's the time I said, oh, hell to the no.
Yep.
Nigeria is the Wild Wild West. Guy. People just muranya like this. I slept for 1 hour. I will come, they watch, make something no something, make something no shift, make something no loss. You they check. Those are things that human error can. I know that Oye was saying something about sometimes it's not human. Sometimes it can be human error, but sometimes it's an intentional human error.
Yeah.
And if you don't put those blockers in place, so even what happens if you catch person where that thing they happen to? The normal thing is everybody go shout, everybody go beat them. But you still no correct them.
Yeah.
You may not still be able to do any correction besides raise alarm, besides come on social media. So that's where, for me, I think that if we want it to be a reality, I do agree a little bit with the guy that left, where he said it's also the people themselves and our own responsibility in this process that we're expecting.
Absolutely. We have a new guest.
Sasa, welcome.
Absolutely. And it's not like I don't believe him when he says one person voted 4 times. But if you can articulate it so that it go there more believable, then that would make sense, right? But when you cannot articulate it, you just say it and want us to believe it. Like, okay, one person voted. How did they do it? Because my understanding, I say, you accredit, that's how you vote. But hey, it's what it is. Mr. Aworo Sasa won. Thank you for joining. Let's hear your thoughts on this.
Host.
Yeah.
Good evening. I really, really appreciate this opportunity so much.
Thank you for joining.
I've been following you guys for a very long time, and I'm really glad what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Good evening. You see, first, I would like us to... One thing is that when a generation is not destroyed on the battlefield. When a generation starts using a borrowed culture, a borrowed ideology, they deem to lose the path on where they are going. And I think that is one of the major problems in Nigeria and in Africa. Let us start by the word free and fair election. It's simple. Free. Even in Freetown, nothing is free. Even freedom is not free. It's like people don't understand what the word free actually means. Then let's go back to fair. Fair is just one step away from poor. Fair is just one step away from poor.
How do you mean?
Yes, you have excellent, very good, good, fair,
Oh,
then
I see
poor.
what you mean. I see what you mean.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is how they are rated.
I see what you mean.
So when you say poor, it's just a leg, a step away from being poor. And now, for the people that brought democracy, so if they tell us free and fair,
But
which means
I
the
don't
best you can
think
get
in
is
this
for free and
context.
fair.
I don't think in this context, in the context of when people say fairness, I don't think they mean that I just want at all making you just they poor. I don't think that's how people mean it in the context of fairness. I don't
You know,
I don't believe that. I mean, I can look up the
that is
dictionary
why
meaning
I
I think I would be right.
That's not what
no,
fair
that is why
means.
I
Fair,
said
fair is
that.
what you think it means, Akachi.
Right? Right.
When something is fair, it means there's it's balanced.
Balance, right? Yeah.
Nobody they
Cheat anybody,
take
right?
from the other
But,
person, right?
but you should
Yeah.
also remember that it's not good enough. When something is fair, it's not good enough.
No, you're
Whether
using
we
it.
like
No,
it or
you're
not.
using it out of context.
Out of
In
context.
this particular context, what we understand to be, what we know, what the dictionary says, free and fair.
Fair.
The fair is not it's fair. You're using it like colloquially, like
Disingenuously.
outside of-
Disingenuously.
This is the Urban Dictionary.
Okay,
Use it
let's
in
go
the
back to the
context we are
past.
talking
Let,
about.
let us go back to the past.
You're using fair
When you read-
disingenuously. That's what Choma is saying.
No, let us go back to the past.
Okay.
When you read books from people like Niccolo Machiavelli, George Orwell, Karl Marx, Alex de Tocqueville, you come to understand the actual thing, what democracy is all about. And I think it's high time that our generation needs to do a more reading. See, what I found out in life is that history repeats itself. Always, every time. Dictatorship come in so many ways. Control come in so many ways. The ancient Rome used
All
bread.
right. My
and
brother, you go spare
circumcision
us.
to
You go
struggle.
spare us the philosophy class, my brother.
I was sorry. All of us have read here. So
But I never read those ones. Only George Orwell I don't read. Animal Farm.
No, in free and fair elections, if you hear, because part of conversation is for us to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So as Nigerians, we're not talking about an ideal state. As a Nigerian, when you hear free and fair elections in the context of the Nigerian state, not how we should be, current states, not future states, what do you understand that Nigerians all have a shared understanding that free and fair elections mean?
Seriously, Madam Chioma, I still need to break this down. If we have
No,
to go
you don't
through
need to
that.
break it down, because if you can't
To
explain
me,
it to a 5-year-old,
to
you don't
me,
understand it.
I think,
No, I'm
I
saying
think
in the
what
Nigeria we
Nigerians-
come from.
in the context,
In the context, yes. What do you
Yes,
think
in the
Nigerians
context.
mean when they say in a free and fair election, so and so
they
person
want
wins,
an
so-
election that does not have anything, that if the vote is 20 votes and it's just going to be 20 votes.
What's
They
wrong
just
with
want
that,
an
though?
excellent election.
What's wrong with that? What's
Yes,
wrong with that
because
idea? That's not a crazy
Democracy doesn't
idea,
work
though.
that way. No, democracy doesn't work that way.
Huh.
The people that gave us democracy actually know how it works.
So I don't know. So
Whether
you're
you
trying
like
to tell me
it
in the
or
UK, if 20 people
They
vote,
do it.
hear me
They're
out.
rigged.
Hear me out. You're saying in the
Okay.
UK, if 20 people vote, nobody those 20 people vote whether they count. Is that what you're saying?
Bros, nobody those 20 people vote that they count. Nobody those 20 people vote that they count.
It's one another
Human-
perspective.
Let me.
No.
let me tell you.
Here's the thing. I don't want
Madam
us to
Chioma.
go. I don't. Hold on one second. Hold on a second. I'm a co-host, so I can.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
Choma is
do
a co-host,
pushback,
yeah.
So because if we start, we're not doing a dick measuring contest, right? Because we start measuring, who is more corrupt and who's. I mean, the democracy we're practicing, we already admit that is a quasi pseudo, democracy, if you even want to call it that. But that's not the what we're talking about. It's not the brunt of the argument. Like, it's not what we're talking about now. What we are saying now is forget the definition of who knows whatever. We know that corruption, nobody can be more corrupt than all these other countries that we are going to mention. And we know that their own corruption is also embedded in their system. But their own corruption is also unique to that system. There's a reason why we have tax loopholes in America, for example, that can work. But if you apply it in a Nigerian way, no go work, is because it is embedded within the realities of this system. So I think it's disingenuous now to start doing that sort of comparison. So let's not do that. Right now, we've already admitted, we are saying, yes, all those other people, they do them. But in the context of where you and I, when you do elections, like election season, for example, what motivated and what inspired this post was literally, I keep hearing, in a free and fair election, this person will win. In a free and fair election, this will happen. In a free and fair election, this other thing will happen. That thing that gives that perception that elections are not free in Nigeria currently, that is not the reality of what is happening. That's the context that we are using to expand on this conversation. Is that clear? Can we then can we now go through there?
You say, in my own opinion, and the little knowledge I have, in my own opinion, I think when we begin to see life the way life should be, not the way we think it should be, we'll get a better solution to our problem. Whether we like it or not, it's still the better thief that goes with it. In a free and fair election, it's still the better thief that would win. It's just the fact.
No, I think
that is
I think
how
now this
democracy
inherent
works.
problem. I think that this inherent problem we get as Nigerians talking about thief. Like why should it be the better thief? Why it not be the better man? Why should it be the better thief?
Democracy, I always tell people something, that the wolf pack is much more smarter and intelligent than the human pack. A wolf pack would never pick a weak wolf to lead them, but an intelligent wolf and a strong wolf. It is only human that deception of emotion is bringing into perspective to pick their leaders.
So okay, bring this wolf pack in the context of
And then we'll move
Nigeria.
back into this now.
Bring it to the context of Nigeria. So who is the strongest leader now that you think we should? I don't know. Like you're saying,
No, I don't think that's the direction he's going. I mean, to me, it's like things can be true, but contextually, that's not what we're talking about. Because here's the thing. Politics, it's like when I say politics is not a moral exercise, right? Like it's the same idea. Like democracy, like government of the people, for the people, and by the people. What we know is really an oligarchy. Like it's a government by the Onye Diego guy winning the election, that kind of stuff.
not necessarily trauma. I think your own is very clear that you're saying politics is not a moral exercise.
You see, I'm trying to bring him out from the vagueness now. I'm trying to tell him that we're not trying to completely push him out, but I'm saying to him that we understand even the limitations of democracy within it. Now you're comparing it to sort of Wolfpack. I even agree and say, yes, human beings should be, I mean, I would want the strongest person in a fight of strength. I know they'll say, make the weak person come because they're from my side. We understand all of that stuff. But this free and fair election part is where when I bring you there, they take us where we don't want
go
to. So can you kind of contain it? Because okay, so now let me ask you this simple question. Free and fair elections in Nigeria, do you think is a reality or illusion?
It's an illusion.
Okay, all right. Okay, and it is an illusion because according to you, you are saying unless we kind of either define democracy based on our own realities.
Yes, we are not practicing it based on our own reality. You said something now that you also want the strongest man to lead,
That's why I wanted to separate it. She did not necessarily agree with you. That's why I wanted to separate it.
I understand. I just want to bring our reality.
Okay, go ahead.
Our reality as Africans, where we come from, our reality is that it's the strongest man that leads. We have a way we select our leaders. Now there is a borrowed culture, and a borrowed belief, which is democracy. It is not our reality. It is a reality being given to us. That we must accept.
What is this borrowed culture? What is this borrowed culture?
I mean, the phone we are using is not our own. I'm like this app self is not even our own. I'm like.
But what is the borrowed culture?
I don't want to go there.
But what is the borrowed culture you are referring to? This
I was referring to a borrowed culture. The democracy of the thing we're talking about is a borrowed culture. It's a borrowed belief. Are you getting it? And it's not part of our own reality.
But everybody, pretty much everybody in the world now has borrowed this same culture. Why are we the unique people that should be or outlier? Why should we be the outlier? China, they vote, but not democracy per se, right? They vote for China. Russia, then they vote, right, for China. Singapore, then they vote. Every country they vote, right? I mean, not democracy per se, but then they vote, right? You see what I'm saying? So why is it our own that is like unique?
Their voting was embedded in their own culture. Our culture was not embedded in our own democracy.
Okay, give us. I mean, now we're curious. Give us specifically how that is, because in your village before this borough democracy, I know, for example, I'm from the southeast, right? We call something called, I would say, they are egalitarian in nature, which essentially is what democracy is, meaning, everybody is in their own enclave, but you have a vote. If you don't like them, you go talk your mind, and your votes for or against that thing will be registered or recorded. Okay, that's kind of an extension of what we have now. Of course, it's not the way that the politics happens, but it's essentially you talk through voting.
Madam Choma, let me explain to you. I said something earlier that I'm a kind of a man that see life the way life is, not the way I want to see it. I see it the way it is. This is how it is. Number one, we are a lot of people coming together as one, where we are not one.
Okay.
Wait, it's important. These are this little thing we refuse to talk about are actually what is not giving us the headway.
Okay, go ahead. Let's indulge you then. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm not seeing any development happening in Nigeria anytime soon. I'm not seeing any forward movement. Because first, we are different people coming together with different ideology and so many.
We are not unique to that. No, we're not unique.
Now,
we're not unique.
let me explain to
India
you.
be like that. Even Russia be like that. We're not unique.
Let me explain to you. If we were still operating on the basics of how our country was found in the democracy, the prime minister and the southeast regional controller, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to go into that.
So you're saying if we were still operating the eastern region, western region, middle, all that stuff,
course.
you're saying there would have been
It
free and fair
easier.
election. You're saying there would have been free. All right.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
Mr. Aworo Sasa, if you want to help us round up so that
we
we go move forward, though. If you want to just help us round up on this thought, so that we can just
I
move
hate
forward.
to be a party pooper here. You actually are contradicting yourself. You say you like to look at things the way they are, not the way you imagine it. So this is the way it is now. You don't want to have this conversation. You want to take us to the where it is not, which is us voting by our little tribal stuff. You just, even when I'm trying to push you forward, you're trying to you're circling me. I don't like I'm a big because.
But Mr. Aworo, if you want to help us move forward.
Reality,
Sorry about that.
you
You
will
must
focus on
understand
our
that.
current states. You mentioning how we were before amalgamation is out of point. Like,
Yeah.
that's you not living in reality because we're not going back there. So what we gonna do with what we already have now? That's what we're talking about. You're
Like
like,
the question, free and fair election in Nigeria, reality or illusion? To me, it's illusion.
it's
All right.
illusion. Yeah, you said it's
Thank you.
illusion.
Thank you. I appreciate you joining, Mr. Aworo Sasa. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming. Bye.
All right. And I see Mr. Davison for chat. Mr. Davison is butt hurt. He's butt hurt, man. He doesn't like the way I dropped him, but I know he's gonna be okay. But Mr. Davison, just like every other guest that comes, there's gonna be a time to end. There's gonna be an end. There's gonna be an end.
You see that thing why they tell you say man go do something, they go blame woman. You see as my name just I not even day here when you move on.
Yo.
I'm not Kwamia.
But yeah.
I was not even here. I went to go.
Mr. Davis, no too vex. Just like everything that starts, there will be an end.
Carry me, say, make Choma host. Make Choma host. Don't bring us up. I be host now.
Choma is a host.
Man go commit, two man go they get
Anyway, but Mr. Davison, we came to the end of your conversation, and that's why we had to move forward. Just like Mr. Aworo Sasa, we came to the end and we had to move forward. Choma even mentioned it. We were going in circles, and there was no point for continuing. So it's just what it is. Me and her, they in that sync, sort of, where we know when to keep the conversation going. And if my sync they a little bit off, she go tell me, Kachi, wait, Kachi, wait, and I'll wait. and I will not drop the person. But for the most part, we're in that sync. But it's not anything personal. We have a show to run here, and that's just what we're doing. Thank you again, Mr. Davison. Make we bring up our next guest. And I thank you guys for being here, by the way. Let's keep liking and sharing and get more people here to join the show. How many hours we done day here now? We're at that time. 1 hour, 30 minutes. So we have another
But you
maybe.
don't inspire me. See, I have my pencil and my daughter.
Yup.
I've been a typer before, but I write them down.
It's easier. Just write it down, keep it going. But yeah. Anyway, Choma, do you have any thoughts on the last guest before we we have a new guest already, but before we start the conversation?
I think these conversations are necessary, and I do know where he's going, but this is not the post or the
day.
This is not the room for that or the topic for that. I would have met him at the level of his philosophical, I don't know. But for me, I think until we understand the mechanisms, and I actually thought this is where he wanted to go with from there, the way that good leaders come into power to change things for us, like these people that we imagine to be good, is through the same process. In this case, whether it's free and fair elections or what, it's the same election that brings the dirty guy, the clean guy, the good guy, the bad guy, right? So I feel like if Nigerians learned more about that process itself, participated more at that level, right? So for example, before you start saying free and fair elections or whatever, you should be able to name how practically you will be able to start in your own little corner to make sure that things are free and fair. I mentioned it in the previous one. I want to bring it back again. The reason why it's important is so that, do you know how long we've been saying free and fair elections? It have stayed. Go. However, are we getting closer to it? Somebody can make the argument, say, yes, electoral acts, reforms, going to, just think about the limitations, right? Most of the people talking about free and fair elections. What is your representation in terms of the quota at the very, very top? NAS members, the percentage of young people who are there? People who are when I mean young, I mean under the age of, say, 40 or even under the age of 50. Probably 1 or 2%, because women is around 3-4%, right? So what that tells you is that there's a disconnect between the people who use free and because they see those people, those mama them where they stand for line, where they carry the malt, where they carry the 5k, all those stomach infrastructure people. Notice that not be them they say free and fair elections. But however, they want the benefits that would come from a free and fair elected person. However, you see where the disconnect is. People where they shout free and fair elections. Now them know they participate in the off-season, day in, day out, the boring as fuck part of politics. And that part is not moral. It is not a moral exercise. It's not who is the right person or even who is the smartest person. It's oftentimes is who plays that game. And the last speaker, he kind of was trying to sprinkle some of that a little bit at the high level, and that's why I was trying to do all that my when to try to bring him.
Not necessarily, Choma, because when he compares the wolf pack to
when he started though, before you took me where I didn't know. Before we now went off and I now started being this is not going anywhere.
Absolutely.
Because if you really think about it from that level, you have to understand that if the people who are the most outraged by the system do not have any way to disrupt it internally, besides, say, our online outreach. Okay, you don't even have proximity. And someone say, oh, why do you need to have proximity to do whatever? Because even in the Senate climates you're talking about, if something is going on, who's my congressman? Congressman, see something. If you don't do and we not go vote you, that kind of stuff. So that's really what the polity is there for. The average Nigerian don't know that they can actually record their NAS members. They don't know the procedures to do that. So when you're talking about free and fair elections, and you're talking about the Electoral Act, and you're saying, remember when the Electoral Act came out and there was all this sort of clause that people were saying, this is the loophole or this is the loophole. I said, duh, it is politics, it is elections. There's going to be loophole for the people who know how to. So you must understand, just like they tell you, say, learn the law so you fit know how to break them.
Yep.
Learn the rules of the game so you know when you are playing it how to. So all those loopholes are there to benefit the same people that you're still saying they shouldn't be there in the first place. But you that have now relegated yourself to the clean and proper, the person will not be dirty. Politics is a dirty game. It's such a dirty game. Every 6 months before election, you start shouting in a free and fair election, in a free and fair election. You see that disconnect? We're gonna have to unpack it one of these days.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Les Blue, thank you for joining. If you're here, I see your this thing day kind of busy. But if you can hear me, please unmute yourself and let's have this conversation.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
Thank you
we
for
can.
joining.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'll be free. I'll be fast. Sorry.
Okay.
So,
Be fair too. Don't just be free. Be fair.
so for me, when we talk about election in Nigeria, is it free and fair?
Yeah.
For me, I believe that no election is actually perfect. People are looking for perfection, and that is why we are having issue with whether the election is free and fair. Truly, we have structural issues that we need to actually work on, like our beavers and other things like that, like voter suppression and all those things. So we have that issue, and I believe that the government is working on it. But a lot of people that actually talk about our election is not free and fair, I think most of them, they are talking about from the point of their expectations not being met. So, for instance, if I have a political candidate, I want the political candidate to win, right? If my political candidate does not win, I have to come up with a reason to say, oh, it's because I was cheated, it's because our
Absolutely.
votes were suppressed.
And Choma said something like that, right? The free and fair election only happens where your person win. If your person win for these places, that place was free and fair. But if you don't win for the other place, it wasn't free and fair,
And I will give you an example. I'm sorry to digress a little bit.
Yep.
In when Trump and Biden, when Trump was going for the second
We go
term,
skip that side because I don't get plenty restrictions
We
in
go
my
skip
life.
that
Make
side.
we
I
skip
would
that
love
one.
this
very-
live,
I will
by
be
the
No,
way.
very-
make
I'll
we
be
skip
very
him.
brief.
Make we skip him. No, I don't even want you to go there,
Skip
please.
us.
Make we skip that one, please.
All right.
Yeah.
So okay, let's go back to the last election, right?
Yeah.
In the southeast, Peter Obi won a lot of votes, about 89% of votes. We did not hear that the election in the southeast is not free and it's not fair.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People believe that, oh, he won. So this election, the result actually captured the mind of the people.
Yeah. 90%.
Yes. But there are videos online where we see people being suppressed. We see people being beaten. There are videos online, unless if we want to lie to ourselves, right? In Lagos, people will say, Lagos election, our election is not free and fair. But people don't bring up the presidential result in Lagos because Obi won Lagos, right? But there are videos online where we see people beating for voting for Labour and for voting for APC in some constituency, right? In some polling unit.
Yeah. So what side are you on this topic, right? On the
My-
argument? Are you saying elections in Nigeria are already free and fair? It's just that expectations of people are not being met, so they just keep shouting it's not free and fair.
So to be sincere, I will not say our election is totally free and fair. But it is better than what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, I
That,
definitely
oh,
agree with you on that.
Yeah, it is better than what. So
Yeah.
anywhere in the world, the election is not free and it's not 100% free and fair.
And I'm going to be honest with you as well, right? I think most people, when they say free and fair election, and Choma, tell me if you disagree here, or you tell me if you disagree as well. I think when most Nigerians say free and fair, they look at the chaos. It's more of the chaos that happens during elections. That's what they look at. That's what they see and say, this thing is not free and fair. It's not free and fair. But I don't know.
Yes,
But it's not just that though. It's that thing of communication. Like there's so much. So if you're watching, and remember that a lot of our people, we are global in a way where we are influenced by other stuff that we see. So people have experience of them sitting and watching other elections and seeing the counts, right?
Yep.
And they see, so that there's an expectation that the speaker is talking about that isn't met, but it's also beyond that, because when there's things that are like not clear, Nigeria has a terrible communication problem. So because that process is not just shrouded in like secrecy, but it's shrouded in like, stuff we know go fit explain and give you. So everybody go just fill in the gaps. So that's why people are not seeing what Les Blue is saying. Like, sure, there are things that has been done. Like Electoral Act, for example. Most of the people saying free and fair election. If you ask them what was within that Electoral Act, what did you think it was about? They probably couldn't explain it to you.
Yeah.
But when they will know it's not free and fair is when they want to go and cast votes and the result does what the results, it doesn't go their way, then they now say, it's not going to be free and fair. Or when they anticipate the limitations of the things that they cannot do, they now say, it might not be free and fair.
Yeah.
So what does that free and fair look like? They might not be able to tell you either.
Yep.
Yeah. So before I go,
All right.
one of the solutions I would like to, bring up is transparency. How do we make sure that the election is transparent? And how can people believe that, okay, this election is transparent? So if we can have something, people mention cameras, right? But at the same time, cameras can be distorted. They can work on the camera, and like in abroad, police they use cameras, and there are complaints that when they attack people, they can't find it. They can't find the video of that event and things like that.
Not really, unless you don't turn it on. That's when you say cameras can be distorted. I don't know how you want to use change image.
Unless you don't turn it on, or
Unless you don't
turn
turn
it
it on.
off mid
Yeah.
that thing happening, or you just delete it. And
Or you delete it,
but
yeah.
if it's on the body,
Okay,
they're gonna.
that's what I'm saying. That it can be deleted if you don't have proper chain of custody, right? So
Not
yes,
deleted
yes.
per se. I think these cameras are made in a way where you don't have access to like the data.
The drive
You
to-
don't have
the
access to
storage.
it. So it's either if you know up on them or you off them when you want actually start the
want
record.
to do something,
That's the only way.
yeah.
But as far as having access to it to delete, you can't do that.
yeah. So if we can have a camera system whereby everything is backed up in cloud, and we have like duplicates of all these things, I think that might solve the issue of transparency
And available to the public.
and available to
And
the
available
public.
to, yes, like
So
where
that
you should be able to
will
find
solve
it.
the issue of transparency, and I believe that people will start having faith in our electoral system.
Yeah.
So most of the times now, the issue is people have lost faith and their expectations are not met.
Yep.
Oh, I want my candidate to win. My candidate did not win, so the election is not fair.
That's so
That's
easy.
what I have to contribute.
That's so easy for the most part. But thank you, Mr. Les Blue. Definitely agree with a lot of things you said there. Thank you for joining. And I always see you in the chats, supporting the live. I appreciate you for joining, for coming up today and sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much.
No. Most of the times when you discuss, you always say it's for particular people. So I can't contribute to that.
Appreciate
I
it.
can contribute today. So
Appreciate
thank
it,
you
man. Thank
for
you.
the
Thank you.
opportunity.
All right. Absolutely. Now, transparency, what they talk about, and the camera and ain't gonna give us that transparency, right? That's
And
one way.
cameras are becoming sort of normal everyday thing.
Yeah.
That, you see, there was a time where even stores that should have them didn't have them. But now, even people's residents have cameras, and
Yep.
like people are putting it, and they're cheap now
They're
too.
cheap.
Like they have different versions.
Yep.
We talked about tailoring something to a system. They have the ones that are like solar powered. Like they have so many versions of. Shout out
Yep.
to China.
Shout out
You
to
know?
China, man.
They have so many versions of it that.
Absolutely.
Shout out to China, man, because without China,
Yeah.
it's so mad.
And if you want to get it in, at a large quantity, you go to China, you get a very even reduced price at more,
very, very cheap.
So what
You
are
don't
we
even have
saying?
to go get seller, they go just ship up to you, kia.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, thank you, Mr. Les Blue. Make we go to our next guest here. We have a Ofochukwu. Let us get Ofochukwu up here and hear his thoughts. All right, this one where they talk waka, they show us waka for your this thing. Hopefully you go there respectful. No, this one we are deep in our waka. We know they do waka here on
Yeah,
our conversation.
I'm
We won't try
I'm
get. I beg.
respectful.
All right. Thank you for joining.
Kachi video kwa.
Make I talk now. What I see now? They talk now.
Thank you very
Now
much.
waka why they see. So I don't want to know. We don't want to do buzzwords here. Let's just talk about it. What do you think about the topic? Free and fair elections in Nigeria. Reality or illusion?
I believe it will be reality if when all of us, because this problem is between all of us, because I've worked in a polling unit before. You see this thing that Davidson talked before, na truth.
Okay.
One person can vote for 10 people. See how it works.
Okay.
Kachi, do you know that if you buy air ticket now, and you have your passport intact, I can use it to pass all the whole biometric. It only requires when I want to board and the person look me and look that passport and said no. If this person say, okay, I will pass. I don't know if you get me.
Yes.
So now, I've worked in a
really.
place that
Not
No,
really.
but he is right
collecting
though. If you buy a
everything.
ticket, all you have to prove, all you have to show is your ID. Like it doesn't tell you to take a picture to confirm you are that person until you now get to the airport.
I see what
That's
you're saying.
that's what you're saying, Mr. Ofabi. Mr. Ofabi, is that what you're saying?
I hope Mr. Ofor is here. He playing get double attention. All right. We're running a show here, Mr. Ofor, so we're going to need your attention. If you're busy, you can drop and then come back later and we can still have that conversation. But we need your attention here. All right. I know you're saying
It might be
there.
network. I don't even think it's his fault because he seemed like he was really getting into it. It might be the network.
Yeah.
Mr. Ofor, try to come back. The same thing it booted me up sometime after my call. Try to go out and come back in and see.
And
if
this was
that
going to
will-
be a very good conversation, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Ofor, please come back because we really want to hear.
But just
you
to touch
finish
a little
this.
bit
And
about-
he has an experience as like a polling unit agent, so
Yeah.
I think that information would be very, very vital to the conversation.
Yeah, but I'm interested. I want to know how it was. But he used and he explained it with buying a ticket, saying only when you want board, but not.
When you buy, no, what? That's he's saying when you want to board. I mean, when you get to the airport.
Okay,
really. I mean,
okay,
because
okay.
I mean, when you want to get to the airport and you check your bags,
Yeah.
it's kind of boarding. He doesn't mean at the point of entry of boarding. He
I
means
see,
The
I
time
see.
when you get to the airport, when you go give them the.
I see. That
say
makes
you
sense
get
now.
On the plane.
That makes sense
I
now.
think that's why I was trying to get his validation to make sure that's what he meant.
Now the board the night throw me off because I'm like, not really. Because if you want pass if you put your passport for the people waiting for the front, yeah, I don't know anything they call them.
They're gonna say you
Not be you now. You never begin the board that time. You just want to cross there and start
No,
going
I
to
think
it.
that's what he meant.
Okay.
I think that's what he meant. Mr. Ofor, if it's not what you meant when you come up, tell me, no be waiting I mean. And
All right.
I'll back down.
All right, sounds good. All right, Starman Alpha, make we if you want to unmute yourself, please make we hear your thoughts on the topic.
Hey, greetings, bro. Greetings, panel.
No
Okay,
be panel,
okay.
we no get panel, and just me and my co-host.
Oh, okay. Greetings, host and co-host.
Yeah,
Hope you're good.
we're good. Thank you.
So, talking about Nigeria and free and fair elections, Nigeria is a country where you're watching the TV on the day of the elections. You're seeing ballot boxes being snatched. And as you're watching TV, seeing all the electoral malpractices, somebody is still asking you, who won? Who won? And you're like, wait, but they're rigging. And the person is still telling you, hey, I know, but who won?
Mr. Starman, if I want to be honest, you don't tell what I see snatching of ballot too. I no go lie, yo. Snatching of ballot is kind of outdated now. No be something we would see in recent times for Nigeria. But rigging, yeah, I'm just saying, snatching ballot around, chiki. You don't think we see that one 1990 then.
I mean, I just use that as one of the many malpractices that you see in Nigeria.
I hear you.
See, they've been rigging elections in Nigeria since the 1959 election. That's even when the British were here. In fact, the British helped the rigging. You see all the electoral malpractices that you see in Nigeria today, they learnt it from the British.
All right, make we leave British. Now Nigeria would talk a beg. Leave British. British.
Okay.
I don't. This thing you're just making a claim. If I say how now, we will start going in this rabbit hole, right? So make we leave British.
The evidence is there. The evidence is there. But
All right.
anyway, so everything you see now.
All right.
is not
When
new.
you say malpractices, make we talk about them. What do you consider malpractice? So that we know we're on the same page. Yeah.
Underage voting. Buying people's votes. Fake local government areas. Fake voters. I mean, the list is endless of what goes on in Nigeria elections.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of times you even find that apart from the choice being selected for Nigerians and very narrow, most of the Nigerians don't even know what they're voting for. And in Nigeria,
not really. I think most Nigerians where they vote are very aware. Most Nigerians will vote for Tinubu, then they're very aware of Tinubu. Most Nigerians will vote for Buhari, then they're very aware of Buhari. I think Nigerians are very aware.
I think Nigerians go, they succumb to mass hysteria when election come. And in fact, that's the only time in Nigeria where the citizens, so-called citizens, actually somehow participate in being Nigerian during election. Otherwise, there is no real engagement between the Nigerian state and the people. They don't provide any resources or any infrastructure, services, nothing. The people are left to fend for themselves until election.
Yep. But in terms of free and fair election, the free and fair election, obviously you're saying is an illusion. Do you think there's a way for us to, get out of that illusion and make it a reality? Like, are there any measures you think we can put in place, systems that we can put in place? Because I want it to be, I want it to be a reality, right? But I don't know about you, but I'm just saying, do you think there are any measures we can put in place to make it a reality?
To be honest, I think the fault is with the structure, because Nigeria has always been a country with entrenched interests, even locally. Let's not even go international. And even though some local interests protect the international interests, so with all this, and you now have a politics that breeds godfatherism. And they're now making it up literally as they go. You see people like Yaya Bello creating office of ex-governor.
All right, I hear you on that one. I know it be like you get plenty issues where you come to discuss, right? But we want to stay put on the topic. When you say, hear me out, just hear me out. No, just hear me out. We're not talking about Yaya Bello and his ex-governor office. We're not talking about that.
No, but I want to talk about an election that, there was a Niger State election that Channels TV described as Yaya Bello won a WAR, not an election. That was a Channels TV description of an election that happened in Niger State.
All right. I mean, unfortunately, me and you know if you do anything about them now. That's why I'm trying to move this conversation, right? When you say Nigeria has, we they entrenched in interest. Again, how you phrase them? How do you mean exactly? What are the interests that we are entrenched in?
Okay, so there's colonial interests, then there's local mafia interests. People that are interested in protecting their oil wells, people that are interested in protecting their cabals, either whether it's generator cabal or diesel cabal, and these interests are never aligned with the interests of the indigenous people.
So how do you think, or why do you think these interests, where you mentioned, and they're valid, right? How do you think, or why do you think these interests, are interfering with the reality of free and fair elections in Nigeria?
Because exactly like I said, these interests are never aligned with the interests of the indigenous people. Because the interests of the indigenous people is detrimental to these interests. Like the people that own the oil wells, they don't care as long as they get their share of whatever licenses are being granted. They don't care what even happens to the land. But the indigenous people on the land are the people suffering. Their land is polluted. They hardly see any real benefit from their oil.
And I agree with you.
That will facilitate that for them.
I definitely agree with you. But so in your opinion, there is no way out for us to attain some sort of a reality when it comes to free and fair elections in Nigeria?
No, until
No.
the indigenous people have a say about Nigeria.
But we
Because
do
they
but we
never
do
had a
have a
say
say
about
though.
Nigeria.
We do. I mean, we do.
Bro, from amalgamation to even the 1960s, you know, there were backroom,
All right.
string pulling and
All
stuff.
right.
So, and to the latest constitution that says we the people, meanwhile the people only heard about it. All
Okay.
that stuff is the Nigeria is an illusion of freedom.
All right.
Anyone that
Mr.
wants to argue that Nigeria is a sovereign country,
All right,
whilst
Mr.
the
Starman,
people
we're not
that
talking
live
about the
within
sovereignty of Nigeria. It's undisputed. The sovereignty of Nigeria is undisputed. Thank
Oh, is
Choma,
Nigeria
do you have
having
any
no colonialism?
questions or pushback before we move forward?
Now you they have conversation now. You
All
finish
right.
the conversation and we'll move on.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Starman, though, for joining. I really appreciate you. Appreciate your time. Thank you for joining.
Can I just say one thing? Like you
All
said,
right.
Nigeria is a sovereign country.
And it's
We don't
undisputed.
care.
And it's
We don't
undisputed.
care.
And it's undisputed.
We don't.
And
We
it's
don't care.
undisputed.
No, but is
We,
Nigeria under
we really don't care because
colonialism?
All
I
right.
don't know what a
Okay.
Biafran bingo will be doing in a
Thank you.
conversation
All
of
right.
Nigerians. So you
All
had
right.
5 minutes. Whenever we're talking about Nigerian issues, I don't discuss it with bingos because what do you care? You don't believe in Nigeria, so what? You don't believe anything can happen. Nigeria is not breaking. Election is happening 2027, so Mr. Ofo don't come back. Mr. Ofo, as you were, please continue your conversation.
Choma, later make you go over and watch your face for this conversation. You go laugh time. Make you just watch your face for this particular
I
conversation.
just need to do my writing.
Oh my goodness, man. Choma, make you take your time later and watch your conversation with me and Mr. I don't know what's going on with Mr. Ofo. But watch the conversation, man. You go laugh time. I know it's what
Nigeria with bingos.
If you like, you know this person. Did you know the person? Me, I know Sabiamo. I just dey talk.
You know they read comments. Not bingo now. Real big bingo. There's nothing to push back on because we are not on the same page. Nigeria is not breaking. Election is going to happen. And I find it really kind of hilarious that during elections, when the candidate you kind of support, it comes on board, then you're somewhat Nigerian and you're still telling us at the end of the day, there's nothing that can be done. So why are we here? What am I having a conversation about? I'm Nigerian. So, when we're talking about Biafra issue, but even then, what's the point, right? Free and fair elections in Nigeria, reality or illusion is the conversation. And I'm hoping that Mr. Noma's success can speak to that.
Absolutely. I try to keep bringing him back, Mr. Noma Success or Miss. Just give me 1 second. I tried so many times to keep bringing him back to the conversation. Talking about the sovereignty, talking about British people, talking about all that good stuff. Right? It's not necessary. Let's stick to the conversation
When you
and
heard
go from.
indigenous, you did not clock. I was saying this guy.
I clock him, but I'm just trying. I'm giving him. I gave him benefit of the doubt. I gave him benefit of doubt. But thank you, Noma Success.
And I don't engage people who have already been. You've made it very, very clear in the comments that the type of conversation you want to have.
I see.
And you know me, how I treat disrespect. This is your stage, of course. We are co-hosting, but I don't have the power to not have, because I'm not going to have somebody who blatantly is disrespectful in the comments, then come here to come and perform.
Oh, I didn't read the comments. I don't see the comments.
You're a cockroach,
okay.
so I don't engage cockroaches. We use slippers on them.
I wasn't
Noma's
reading comments.
success. Hey, where's that Mr. Ofo now? Where
I don't know.
that
His
guy dey
internet
go,
is
wow?
acting up. His internet is acting up. Yeah, and I'm also very interested in that conversation. But Noma Success.
God should collect the Wi-Fi connection of one bingo and give Mr. Ofo. Mr. Ofo, find internet connection. Sometimes just go. It even happens in my building. Go to a different location sometimes, like T-Mobile or I say T-Mobile. It's Nine Mobile or MTN or something. Glow. If it come back on, because we really want to hear your perspective on your experience on ground. Okay.
Yeah.
But we'll hear from Mr. Noma Success. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good
what do you
evening from
think
my
about
side.
Oh, hold on. Let me. I think I finished the introduction now.
I'm listening.
I mean, come on, respect the beauty now. Free, free and fair elections in Nigeria, reality or illusion? Let us know what you think.
Yeah, it could be a reality, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a whole lot of work because the system. Before I go ahead, you guys are doing a good job.
Oh,
Always
thank you.
having great topics for us to deliberate and enlighten us.
Thank you.
You are doing a good job. Well done, sir. Well done, ma. It could be a reality, but it's going to be a whole lot of work, and I don't think I will not say whether we are not doing enough, but we really need to work. It's going to be a lot of work because the way this structure has been built, it's been built such that we don't get a free and fair election. That's the truth. So these politicians that have hijacked the system, they are making sure that it doesn't work. That's the truth. So if the people want it to work, they must be willing to work. And I think that is the problem. I was talking to a friend recently. Let me leave that because that's another issue. Okay, it's still part of it. Talking about PVC. I've realized that because what these guys do is, it's not even at the point of election, they make it unfair. They make it unfair even before the day of election.
How do you mean?
Okay,
What do you
fine.
mean?
Yeah, applying for your PVC, they make it difficult for you. When they
Is
see
this
that,
still 2 weeks? What's the the new time frame? Because when I came to Nigeria in 2019, I got one. It took literally 2 weeks from they give you that temporary one, and
yeah.
then you go and what's the time
No,
frame
no,
now?
I'm
Has that
not.
changed or
I'm not
improved
on
in any
ground.
way?
I'm not on ground at the moment.
Oh,
But
sorry.
I
Okay. Sorry, I
feel
thought you were there.
it's still like the same. What I mean by the same is in some area they make the available registration center. I believe it's now online, which is good. I hope it's effective. But if you have to go, even though when it's online, a lot of people might not be able to do online because of education, access, and things like that. A lot of people still might want to go to the location that's the physical location to go and do the registration. So what they do most times is to restrict the number of places you can do the location. I stayed on the island in Lagos when I was trying to do the registration some years ago, and there were just 2 locations on the island. I went there several times to get my PVC and I could not. So this is what the
Okay, you
system is
couldn't
trying
get
to
it
do.
from. So okay, please. Do you mind saying the year we're talking about?
Before the last election.
Oh, okay, like recent. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Like
before
22.
the before
So basically, in local governments, I thought because I'm trying to know if it's like specific to where you are or where you're talking about, which is
yeah, so
Lagos. Are
on
they
the island, there
Lagos?
were like 2 places on the island.
So
They
how
were
is
like
that possible? So in the local government office, right? Like
yeah,
your main maybe local government capital or whatever. What
yeah.
then happens there if they restrict the
So
location?
okay, so
You
let's say that
can't
would
do
be 3
anything
now.
there.
Let's say that would be 3. So there should be one at Ibejuleki, which is
Okay,
very
I know
far
Bejuleki, yeah.
from where I am. There's one at Igwefo, and there's one around Ikoyi. Those were
And
the
the
3.
distance in between is even far.
Yeah, it's far, and
I
you
see
can
what
see
you're
the
saying.
number of
Okay.
people that will be willing, that want to get their PVC. You can see the number of people within this vicinity and the number of centers available. It makes it very difficult for you to get your PVC.
Prior
And
to that election, was
yeah,
it? So I'm sorry to stop.
no,
I
that's
just
fine. Go
want to
ahead,
get
please.
clarity.
Yeah.
Like prior to 2023 elections, was that restriction there? Like I'm talking
What
about
do you
in
mean by
these areas they're
restriction?
talking about.
What do you mean by restriction, please?
Limitations.
Sorry,
Like
the limitations of. I mean, it is a restriction if they're restricting you from because I mean, for a place like Lagos, I mean,
Yeah.
I can understand when somebody saying it's a small place. A place like Lagos, and even the locations you're talking about, like I'm
Yeah.
pretty familiar. It has
A lot of
huge
people. Yeah.
distances between it.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
saying that prior to 2023, before this new administration came in, the same limitations exist, like or no? Like
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
people have more places to go get their PVC?
No, what I'm talking about when you compare it with some other states, some other location, maybe in the north, you realize that it's more easier. So
No,
what?
I'm talking about the location you're talking about now, because what I'm
Yeah.
trying to establish is if it's something that change, like they they didn't change it by law or a policy or whatever, but they changed it to either restrict, to make sure
No, I
that it's
can't compare it with
because
any
that's
other time.
we have to compare it to that, because the reason why I'm saying it is then we can then pinpoint and say, oh, the new 2023 elections was coming, and they now sort of made that barrier of
Intentionally.
being able to go do
Yeah.
it limited, so that frustration will make you no one go. So that's what I was trying to establish.
so
but
my
thank
own
you for
point
admitting
is,
that you didn't know too, because it
yeah.
helps.
So my own point is, if they wanted more people to get their PVC, they should have created more rooms, like
Yes,
more
I agree.
centers, so that people can actually get their PVC. Because if you go to other locations, I know some location where that's another one. Another one was even people that got their PVC, to even people that register for their PVC, for them to get their PVC, they couldn't get their PVC. We saw that happening in the East. They couldn't get their PVC. Maybe after the election, they saw a bag of PVC somewhere. You understand?
Yeah.
Why somewhere in the north, you realize that people were practically, the PVC was coming to their home.
So
the
that's what I'm
PVC.
trying to ask you, Mr.
Yeah.
Noma Success, right?
Yeah.
So for example, now in Lagos that you're talking about,
Yeah.
if such a restriction or limitation was put in place, it obviously was done to do something to the people, to restrict them. Who in Lagos would have the power to do that, or to say, or not to even to do that, but to say, you guys limited us to like 3 locations and we already have this challenge, and who's that burden on to like raise alarm? Like the opposition
The opposition
parties,
party,
or
the opposition party should have done that.
but they
The
didn't do
people,
that, because this
they
is the
didn't
first
do
time I'm
that.
hearing it.
That's it. So that's why I say even the opposition at times, they are not doing enough.
Mm.
Because if you
Okay.
know that, like if like the Lagos Island, sorry, not Lagos Island per se. When I mean Lagos Island, not is Aleko. I mean the Lagos Island, the Koi, the VI, the Lekki, the Aja. They are a group of people that are enlightened. And that's why APC lost in Lagos, because they are not people you can really manipulate. These are people that they know what is happening, they know what they want. So if you know that,
I don't know that it's big. That's the reason. I mean, a lot of Nigerians are very enlightened. It's not just people in Lagos that are enlightened, right? River State, there are a lot of enlightened people there. Akwa Ibom State, same thing. Abia State, same thing. So it's not just Lagos. I don't know where you're
No,
coming.
but for a
when I
place
mean-
like
when I mean
Lagos that is
Lagos, I'm talking
cosmopolitan,
about this
and something like
particular-
that happened and nobody raised alarm, though. You know what
No,
I
I'm
mean?
not-
Like, because we know that, yes, River State, but there's a reason why people mention Lagos and Abuja. Because those are kind of sort of the melting pot of,
Yeah.
let's even say, my own person, they do, but there's enough people that even if they are not opposition by party, they'll be
Yeah.
opposition by tribe or religion or something.
Yep.
And nobody raised alarm, because for all of the things that trended during the 2022 elections, and this is also where opposition not having structure and sort of a unifying goal of, if your goal is to remove somebody, but in 2023 the goal was not to remove anybody, because somebody has already ran their
Tenure.
8 years.
Yeah.
So everybody was pretty much opposition in a way. So and that's why I asked the question, who would that type of restriction benefit? And why would the people who will not benefit from that? Because essentially you need as many PVC registrations. You want to make that drive possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So if you as an opposition was not raising alarm, did it also benefit you? We're talking about Lagos in particular. There's a reason why I'm asking that question, because in Lagos, we know what happened, how Labour Party went through Lagos. They won at the presidential level, but they didn't win at the gubernatorial. They won at this, but they didn't win here.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that for something like that affects all of the voter public or potential voters or potential new voters that could have either added to the win or made that win impossible. Why were both, I can understand the person who would do it, but why would the opposition not raise alarm for that? You see what I'm saying? No, I never heard this. This is the first time I'm hearing it, and
I think it was a thing during. I remember. I recall that period. Voting. What's it called? PVCs. After the election, we started seeing bags and bags of PVCs that weren't distributed. But in my opinion, I wouldn't say it was done intentionally. Maybe some elements did it intentionally.
Now, waiting they tell us.
Maybe people just no pick them up. Maybe that could be also true, right? And
it have been difficult to get
that too.
To it.
That too.
That it would, because if you go register in, say, Ibeju, for example, and you don't already commute 1 hour, and by the time you get there too, say you don't stand in line for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Even just to go pick them up, because remember they give you that temporary one, but you can't really vote with it. Like you can't, and I think that's where again the intention of the people who sort of put the barriers matter, and that's what I'm saying. If it gets to a point where now people are not picking up their stuff, opposition will now be pushing things like that temporary card is a temporary card. It's like when you go to get your driver's license here, they don't give you that photo one immediately. Before they used to, but now it comes in the mail 2 weeks later. But that temporary one is what you're essentially using to do every other thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's still that legal. It's still legal for you to tender it for 30 days.
Yep.
So now, what opposition would then be focused on, and this is where I'm talking about, where when somebody is saying free and fair elections in Nigeria, and you are like opposition, for example, this is where scrutinizing your own campaign matters, because then you can see where the gap is, not what you are doing right. Because now that somebody has brought this up, somebody needs to go check, like the ones that were registered for. Like, think about it. No opposition right now is even pushing, go and pick up your
PVCs.
Go and pick up your PVC now. Go out. So why are they comfortable not hammering on that? That's why I was asking him the question, because of Lagos.
Yeah.
And Kachi, when I speak about this area, I'm not speaking about Lagos as a whole. I'm speaking about this area in relation to other area of Lagos.
I see.
You understand? I'm not saying that other states are not enlightened. There are some part of some state that will be more enlightened than some part of a state. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the people on the island, they are not the Yaloja that you can close their store and force them to go and vote for somebody. I don't know where I get the point.
Not necessarily, but I'll just agree. Yeah.
Sorry?
Not necessarily. I don't necessarily get your point, but I'll just agree for the sake of conversation. Yeah, make we just conclude with the conversation.
So that's that. I think even before the election, I think a lot of things needs to be done. A lot of work needs to be done before the election. It's just like you are preparing for exam. It's not on that day of exam you pass the exam. What you do even before the day of the exam will tell me whether you are going to pass the exam or not. But most of the time we leave the work, the pre-work we're supposed to do before the election, we don't do it until the election day. And that makes it difficult for rigging and a lot of things to happen. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I would have prefer, if this other opposition are serious people, I would have prefer a situation where we can have an assessment of why did you lose? What happened? Like even the court case, we should have been able to, what were the necessary evidence that you needed to have won the case? You understand? When we have things like that, when we are going to the polling unit, we know what we are looking for. So when you went to the court, what were the evidence the judge were looking at? We have not been able to review it as a party or as a people or as an opposition. So we are going to another election now. We don't even know what we are looking for. You pick up your phone.
Blind now.
You pick up your phone. What are you supposed to video? What are you supposed to capture? You don't even know, because there's no evaluation. That's number two.
We don't know, but you kept saying we. What are we looking for? Me, I don't follow for the we, but I don't know. Maybe you follow for them. That's why you're.
He means like an opposition. Now, what are we looking for?
I hear him, but I'm just saying, me, I don't follow for the we, and maybe you follow. That's why you're categorically saying we don't know.
But we are all in this.
They support opposition.
I don't support opposition, but I'm not like.
Are you Tinubu-fied?
No, I'm now opposition. I did, but I'm not like entrenched in their party. I not be party man. That's what I'm trying to say.
I get your point, but
you get what I'm saying, right? So
I had to say something like that.
So we don't know if they are they're actually doing these things.
He doesn't mean we specifically, all of us. He means the people who, especially the people who use these free and fair elections. normal success, you will agree with me that this free and fair election, no be, there was something you were trying to say, Kachi won't just gloss over, but I know what you mean. Those neighborhoods where mega chicken day, when we say you go to your polling units, you go there VGC, you go they do like, iron judiciary, and after that you go your AC room, Those are not the places where they, must. That's what he was trying to say. It's not the Ololoja. There was something she was saying, like, not all these places where you will say, address Jewe. So if those people cannot even show their whatever concern, because the concerns we were getting was at the day of the election.
Yeah.
Normal success, if Nami they control the board, I don't clap for you, because that thing you said about not knowing what to look for. If you don't know what the blind spot is, if as opposition, all those other things will be limitations in 2023 that would have either added to the vote or multiplied the vote so that the win, like the gap between the win, will be so extra that nobody go doubt them.
Yeah.
You notice that those type of things that are being assumed that they already exist. And this is my challenge with the free and fair election people. Because we all want free and fair election. But when it now comes to, okay, let's interrogate the part about if you already admit to the limitation that somebody who had the power to rig you out in a first term election, now he's entrenched. And your conclusion is in a free and fair election, you've already admitted that defeatist kind of mindset, and that thing they just it whine me, because it's like, if we had to go to court after to even fight, how would we have gathered the evidence needed?
Yep.
If we, like Mr. Nomas, make I just clap for you. That
All right.
So please carry us the go.
All right. But if you want to use that thought too and round up so that we'll go move forward too, yeah.
Yeah. So the last point I will
Yeah.
just want to contribute to this is if you see the American president, Elon Musk already knew.
All right,
that
we'll
Donald
go
Trump won
skip
the election.
that one. We'll go skip that one, my brother. We'll go skip him.
Leave him.
We'll leave
Sorry.
that one, I beg.
So
No
what-
verse. Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, okay, so let me just leave that out. What I'm trying to say is that there should be a system whereby at every polling unit, the event is captured. I mean, when I mean the event is captured, if we are going to, if I don't know whether it's allowed at this point, whether we can snap, we can, apart from the, I've also been a polling agent, what was it called now? NYC, an ad hoc officer. So I've also been an ad hoc officer. I did that during the election that Jonathan won. I was an ad hoc officer. And, even after doing your job at the polling unit, a lot of things happen. Where the rigging happen is not actually at, at the polling unit. No, that's not where the rigging happened. Rigging happened at the collation center. That is where it happens. So if we can all have a copy of what was counted, what was signed, and there's a database which we can all send those copies to, that will now be an evidence that we can take to court and say, this was what the people captured, this was what was counted.
Well, Lagos said that they had it, so so they said that they had it. I mean, if you're gonna go to court for something, you should have that.
So they had it and they lost the court case.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I'm agreeing with you and saying, sure, those things, and that is the part that opposition fails at, because they don't understand that. You see that structure. For example, now everybody's saying AWS. How can you inform the numbers of the next election if you are acting on numbers that don't exist, that you don't have in your hand? They're saying he won in all these other places.
Yes.
But if you work on assumption, you don't have real data to go by.
I
And
agree.
if you keep saying we have it, then the places that need to rise to the occasion, go pick up their PVC, enter 3 buses if possible, to go make sure, say, in this place, we must carry the PVC, make them no vote, or the votes don't count here. When you don't interrogate those things, it's almost like 2031 now, we'll still be shouting free and fair election. Watch.
Yep.
Thank you so much for having me, Kachi. Thank you
Oh,
for
thank you, Nona.
Choma.
Success.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for your insight.
Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. All right. We don't have any other guests requesting at this point. Make I just read some chats here, and we'll see if we'll get any other guests. Otherwise, we'll go from there. Starman Alpha, I know Shosa, I could bring you up because the co-host doesn't I don't know the word.
You're going good by yourself, but
And the co-host is not interested to engage you. It's supposed to be me and her. It's supposed to be me and her engaging. She leave the engagement to be only me. So
I leave you for because you listen I'm man thing.
No.
I don't want to disrupt this room today. So.
But then they call no man success now woman, no be woman be that. No, all of us follow they talk to them.
I say, make a container.
All right. Make we read some chats here and go from there. All right. Bugo says, which opposition are you referring to? Opposition, LOL, I say LP.
Opposition is opposition.
I want to talk
Whichever
about
one you want it to be.
Whichever
You
one,
don't want to
LDC.
mention names now, so you'll not go turn into another conversation.
Yep, the opposition plenty for now. We have at least 3 oppositions right
We
now.
have Atiku opposition.
Yep.
We have Jonathan opposition. We have even Ahmed Chisef opposition. Even if you check
So what?
BK fit dey be
Ah.
opposition. We don't know.
Ah.
Opposition Kale.
Absolutely. All right, let's see who else is here. Remy Guy says, okay, we're not going to read that one. Bugo says the INEC needs to do a lot of work to make things easier and disseminate information. Absolutely. You know, but again, cameras. And, that's why, again, everybody says elections are not cheap. Imagine if all the polling, imagine if the opposition have their polling units and all the polling agents, I say polling units.
Down.
Yep. Have this camera where they wear. Yep.
Atiku is a billionaire. Obi is a billionaire. Hancha, billionaire. Got China board the thing.
Bring
Every
it.
single person
Wear camera.
Glasses.
Yep.
In fact, they don't even do the metal one. The very cheap $15.
Yep.
$10. If you do and pack, they go fit give you
Do I'm $5 for you now for you. They can do these things.
They vex me.
They can do these things.
Too, do they really want the free and fair election where they always, because is the free and fair election like a cop out where if I don't do the things that I'm not supposed to do, like I'm supposed to do, then let the followers and the people now say in a free and fair election, if they had only allowed this, like, come on. In fact,
Absolutely.
I will write post about this thing tomorrow.
Absolutely. Make we also Aderemi on Facebook says, how will you convince someone who participated in manipulation of voters, registration, and multiple voting that the election is free and fair? How will you convince someone who participated in the manipulation of voters, registration? I don't know who you're referring to,
Why
so
would
that's
you be
why.
convincing that person. Oh, okay.
I'm
Read that
also,
again, please.
yeah. How will you convince someone who participated in manipulation of voters' registration and multiple voting that the election is free and fair?
So who are we talking about? The people? Are we talking about?
I don't know. The thing
politician?
on FMF is going over
On
my
FMF,
head.
like-
It's going over my head. I'm not gonna lie for you, Mr. Aderemi Tijani.
Because the reason is the politician themselves who benefit from it not being free and fair wouldn't need convincing.
Yeah.
Anybody who was part of the manipulation doesn't need you to convince them whether it's free or fair. So I'm thinking it's a typo. Maybe they try to.
Maybe it's a typo.
Yeah,
Maybe it's a
I'm
typo.
hoping.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Political Microbe says on Facebook, says, which social media? We're using TikTok, and I pinned the chat on Facebook. So if you read the pinned chat, you'd see that we're on TikTok. Bia Paulo Podcast. Feel free to come over there and request, and we'll bring you up and we can have the conversation. All right. Make we bring Jubril Al Sudani. Make we bring Jubril, Mr. Jubril. Oyengwa Ibem.
Formerly known as Buhari.
Jubril Al Sudani, thank you for joining. All right, but
Jubril, formerly known as Buhari. Gwanyoku.
yes, Wanyogu, free and fair elections in Nigeria, reality or illusion? Absolutely. There we
Good evening. I'm Choma. Good evening from here.
Good evening.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just want to touch on the area of this voter lack of collection of PVCs, and somebody up here once said that they have been, I don't know if I'm right, by the time marginalized in picking up their PVCs, something of that nature.
Not
And
necessarily marginalized, but he said there were limitations because there were not a lot of centers where the people, for people to go pick up the PVCs. Not, I guess that can be tagged marginalized, right? But not necessarily that.
Okay, it's usually their term. That's why I use that word.
Okay.
So, and I beg to disagree with him because I think there is a center, PVC collection center in every local government in Nigeria. At least the whole 774 local government in Nigeria.
So I think you
There's a
agree with
PVC
him. I
collection
think
center.
you agree with him because the distance where him they talk for Lagos, he was specifically referring to Lagos. That place might be one local government, but he's saying there are 3 centers in that area, but still it's far. I don't know if that makes sense. That might be one local government. However, he's saying the distance between them is just a little bit too far or something in that regard. Choma, all right? That's what he was saying, right?
Yeah, he's saying that in the whole of the island, and the island is big, so
Yeah.
there was only 3 places that people could go and pick: Ikoyi, Ibejuleki, and one other location that he
Yeah.
mentioned. The distance between those places are not.
They are not close, yeah.
Is he trying to tell us that the entire island has one local government or what?
That's what I'm saying. That island and that area we in talk fit be one local
I
government.
don't think it's the same. It's not the same. No, it's
Okay.
not the same local government. I don't think Ikoyi. Is there anybody who has their phone there to check Ikoyi and Ibejuleki if they are in the same
Local government area.
I don't know. I'm not from Lagos.
But still, you're agreeing with him because he's saying that there are 3, but the distance between, and say Lagos, they very what's the word now? Like people plenty, right? For Lagos, right? So he's saying the distance between those 3 centers is just far.
Let me give my submission.
Okay.
Because due to the how our people behaves and their nature, it has been part of us right for a long time. It's been our way of life now. Because let me use Abassat local government for an instance.
Yeah.
Because I went there. I went to Abassat around early this year when they started announcing for new voters registration and the change of location in case you've moved from one place to another place and you need to change your voting unit or something like that. Do you know that immediately I got the announcement, I had to inform my nephews and nieces because I believe the ones that have come up to that voting age, that 18. Yeah, so, I went there as early as 8. When I went there as early as 8 o'clock, at least we were just, these people you can see that you can pick your PVC if there are thousands of PVCs there unpicked. So you can even before 10-15 minutes you can do your new registration and they give you something temporary slip of it in that later you can come and pick when the main card is ready.
Yeah.
So then I have to, from time to time, I pick my friends, my colleagues in the office. I inform them. Everybody was going for new registration and the change of. It was so simple. Do you know? At times you can go there around maybe by noon. You be the one. They will be sleeping. Their next staffs there will be sleeping because of our people don't even. They don't take this thing serious.
So here's the thing, right? And I'm not saying that you're not correct. You are absolutely correct. However, Aba South and these local governments where this guy, No More Success, they talk, it's 2 different worlds, right? Ikoyi, people plenty for there. Ibejuleki, people plenty for there. Past that Aba South way. So it's not necessarily apples to apples. I hear you. You are right. I also hear my brother, No More Success. He's also right.
2 things can exist
at the same time. Absolutely.
They can exist. Like and I think one other person also like sort of stated that, because I mean, there are people who are not going to pick. I even said in 2019, I asked him if it had changed. In
Yeah.
2019, it was around a week or 2 weeks to go pick up from the temporary one. And, you know, the whole idea of like, if the temporary one, not picking it up is what's going to limit me, don't bother giving me the laminated temporary one. That
Yeah.
temporary one should, and this is where opposition should have been pushing it, like that temporary one should be able to sort of validate an identity somehow,
Yeah.
because it is the same card,
Yep.
essentially, except
Yep.
that it doesn't have the, you know, like, it just looks like a laminate. Actually, I should have brought one. I should have brought it. It's like just a laminated thing where they just
Yep.
laminate it, right? And of course, the other one is the official one. But if there's limitation where, because this is not the first time people are saying that our people don't go and pick them up,
Yeah.
which is that's not a fact that we can ever deny. Because plus remember that energy they go down. The energy where you use go get temporary card. If you know the energy where you go bring up, because you know there is, because in America, for example, they go send them to your mail, right? So that you don't have to now bother go. Imagine if you have to go back to the DMV to go get the permanent one. Yo, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna be driving on this one until somebody gonna catch me.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do they make it easier for the person who's gonna reason like me and say, I've already I don't know if you've gone to the DMV. The DMV is the absolute, like, they don't give a damn about you.
Yep.
You're gonna be there. So nobody wants to go back to that again. So it's the same thing in this case. So
Yep.
if people can't go back because of whatever reason, and sometimes people go even move, they don't go see their uncle, they don't
Yep.
stay for Lagos now. And what that means is that person is not voting during that election.
Yep.
But they're
What I'm saying, is that let nobody accuse anybody of causing that for not being able to, maybe if you allow some people now, they will now say that the ruling party, the party in power now, is the one making it difficult for people to pick their cars. Nothing like that. And our people usually wait for the rush hour. Maybe when
That
the
one a
time is
normal,
about to
normal human
elapse.
being behavior. That one a normal human being behavior. You know.
So these things are what makes what disenfranchise most of we ourselves disenfranchise ourselves.
Absolutely.
We need not to blame anybody for that.
Absolutely.
That's my take on that.
All right. Thank you,
We notice,
Jibril.
yes, and that's valid. And also when we notice that limitation, for example, now I'm here, I'm not in Nigeria at the moment, right? And my LGA, where you pick up the stuff, is Ife, right? I'm from Izni. So now, if I went to Ife, when I got my card, I turned it into like a thing, you know, a whole, I was even given calling cards and stuff at some point. So I turned it into a thing, like, you know, show you a picture, like I vote, you know, like how we do in America, I voted, but I registered. So if you go to Ife, for example, now, or I go to Ife, and I go pick up my card, and there's a glitch there. Where are those things reported? That's another thing. And that's where opposition, all the different opposition, not a particular person now,
Yep.
can kind of sort of own that. Because, you know, in project at work, they go say, who go own this thing? Not be to tell us where the problem is. Who go own this solution now? Or who go own this problem so we go solve it? Because if people are not able to pick up your card, that's a minus for opposition. We need all the votes. Because now you're splitting, you know, like it's not just you and one person. You are probably splitting it to 3. So every vote should count more. So this is also the challenge to like saying that you, as you see something, say something. If you go to, I mean, come on, why would people in Lagos, in island of all places, as educated as everybody purports to be, or as open-minded or whatever, and you notice that there's only 3 locations, all those celebrities where they always carry placards because they disturb us with their you know, this is the time too for them to just be like, oh, how can it be that I live in VGC and I go to the Beju one and that's the only place that I can collect it? You know, those are the things where does the accountability for all those also come in? Because then if the power that be in that community, because somebody restricted it, and I wanted somebody in Lagos to come up here and say to us that or say it didn't get restricted, or even counter the guy, but nobody is saying that he's not.
It's
So
not
we
true,
can only
yeah.
say that it's true. So, but prior to 2023, were there many locations where you could pick it up?
Yeah.
What is your LGA headquarters like? Like, how many LGAs even there? Make we even think about the feasibility of that. And that's also how Nigeria thinks generally. You see how we're talking about something now, but you and I don't even know that.
Yep.
So now I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look at how many local governments are in Lagos Island.
All right,
But
all right.
Blessed Dom is here, so let's hear what she has to say.
Yep.
Hello, Blessed Dom.
Mama Sabo is in the house. Mama Sabo, thank you for joining.
Welcome.
If you want to unmute yourself, you're muted.
Is she here? Listen, you did here. Maybe she don't go collect water and.
All right. But yeah, I definitely agree with you in that regard of
Evening.
Oh, she's here.
Oh yeah, you're
I
here.
didn't know you picked me.
Yeah, we brought you up.
Good evening. Doing so well.
Thank you.
We agree to.
Yeah, the question is a free and fair election for we and how. It's not possible. It's just like now who then win, they rejoice, and who lose, they cry. And that rigging is local. Everybody is doing their thing.
Yeah.
Because the person at the top is not coming down at the low to do it. There is somebody at the low that is doing it. Everything is money for hand, back for bank. Everybody know it. It's selection they are doing. So you understand? So there are many factors. Underage voters. Like our brother said before, the cards that are not collected. Do you think they are going to be there and laying to waste? No. Somebody will put them to use. And what about the people that died in the year? For example, a country that doesn't have a database of their population. You don't know how many people in your country. How you want to know,
Yeah.
So anyway, that data we did already capture in the form of voters registry, and when they don't already do all those things. At the end of the day, they are going to put it to use. You see, so they try to curb all these things with accreditation on that voting day. You understand? In the sense that at every voting center, regardless of how many people are supposed to vote there, that the people that are accredited for that day, you understand, out of that accredited voters will now be the people that you cannot give a number of voters that is beyond the people that are you record as accredited in that day. You see, so they already try to close that loophole because a lot of things is, but those people will still accredit even who don't die, who don't travel, who don't day, all those kind of things. So if people vote finish, then they will complete the rest. So they are doing it from the local base,
I think this argument brings us back to what I forget who he was, but someone was saying one person votes 4 times or something like this. I think this brings us back to that argument. I mean, I guess it's after the voting, what do they do?
You can't vote 4 times per se. Because when you are accredited, look at it now. Normally they say in these voters corner, like in this voting block, there are so many. There are, for example, 100 accredited voters. That means only 100 people are how will I put it?
Eligible.
Qualified to vote here, and they have been acknowledged that they are actually here and ready to vote. So there's no way you can give beyond that 100 that you are accredited. right? So if you can't vote one and come back and vote two, that's akukondimbu.
Okay.
Doesn't happen.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to
Okay.
say.
But there are other ways it can happen, right? For example, like this uncollected
PVCs.
voters card, they can be accredited even though the person who owns it is not there.
It's not there.
Ah.
That's the
Like somebody that is dead and buried can also be accredited, and it will account for the number of the people in that polling station.
I see. Now it makes sense.
okay. Yeah.
See,
See, this
it's
is
not this like all this petty story for the gods, but there are other sophisticated ways it can happen. So if you are able to accredit these votes with real voters, that's why they need
Yes.
that information. Because you have to have it.
I
They'll
see.
say, oh, they'll go and import all these people, Nigeria, they will just open the floodgate. No, all those things, it doesn't work like that. So you have to find how to get the numbers you want to accredit, because out of that accredited voters in that polling unit, then you can go from there and say, this many voted for here and this many voted for here. That's where you see all these discrepancies where the votes are cancelled. Because how can you tell me that 100,000 people are accredited and you are bringing 5,000 votes
Yep.
for yourself? It has to be nullified.
Yeah.
That makes
And that's
sense.
how they now use that to make up
Yeah, it is.
that gap.
Yeah, because it's over. So yeah, of course, they are trying their best, but other people are also trying their best.
I don't know.
Right?
Everybody is trying their best.
Yep. Yep.
So at the end, now would and cash, now in between.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And now who win, now go rejoice, and who lose go cry.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, my people, I greet you.
Absolutely. Thank you for
Me
joining,
too,
Blessed
me too,
Dawn.
Sister
Appreciate
Lee.
you.
Yeah. No,
Appreciate you.
See, that makes a lot of sense. You see how, and that's why I was trying to get the guys to kind of
Articulating it.
explain to us
Articulating it
how.
is the issue.
Is it? Yes, because, and that's why I'm saying, okay, now explain what you see. Because we don't see her. Explain to us how that's possible, and he couldn't do it, and that's where, and I think that's where we were.
Then it's
but
not
that's what
believable.
we were saying we were even engaging.
Then it's not believable. Yeah?
But Blessed makes it, because now it makes a lot of sense, because it's like, because if picking up PVCs was such an important thing, and I think it takes us still back to who benefits, right?
Yeah.
Because with every system that is, I always talk about, extractive systems where when that thing is benefiting you somehow, it benefits you somehow. So how does this benefit the opposition if they don't make this a big deal?
I don't know.
Because
I mean,
everybody shouts free and fair elections. We're even talking about the Electoral Act and electoral, and this is why having a strategy sometimes is good, because I'm talking about every single one of them now. Because somebody has to be pointing to you that that's not the right place to even be holding your hand.
Yep.
Because if you admit that you don't have the power to put an INEC person there, that the sitting government does, you have to focus on not the lower hanging fruit, but the medium that even you and all of you will know that it is to your benefit that people will vote. So does it then mean that the opposition also benefits from this run? And my answer is yes. And that's where the illusion of it comes. Because then if I lose, I can now say they read me out. I mean, and I wouldn't need to even say it. You're already going to say it.
yeah.
Because you've already preempted everything with, in a free and fair election, you would have. So that when it now happens, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, without you even prophesying that you're going to lose, somebody is going to reach a conclusion, because you can't tell me that, because that's an easier thing that will be solved even with the camera thing, that all of us have agreed that is even a basic, okay? We've gotten to the point now we have cards. Before, somebody was talking here, small ballots or whatever. Okay, paper, don't go. There have been inroads there, but it's not going to go 0 to 100. But at every part, there's still a barrier of entry that prevents the average. I mean, come on, this is a country of 250 million people that we know about. We're not talking about the ones that have not registered. Let's even say it's 200 million, right? Let's say now that you of that votes, you should have that number.
Yep.
That's the number that will help you predict voting behavior and analyze the psychology of the segments of people who vote. So if the limitation is that they cannot go and pick it up because of proximity to where they went to pick it up, then you say mailing. Well, mailing won't work because for some of those rural areas, address no to, and then the modalities too, like post and what do they use? Is it where's the post of whatever the post office?
Yeah.
And NIPOST, okay. So I don't know how efficient NIPOST is in that situation. But someone will say, oh, I don't get them. Again, I get because mailboxes don't exist. The reason why things come in the mail in America or other places because you have a postcode and you have a mailbox.
Yep.
So that person will say, I put them inside there. So there are so many places that we as opposition, we as people, we as non-opposition that want Nigeria to be free and fair election or what. Places we can essentially hold and say we are owning this process end to end.
Yep.
How do you own a process end to end? Is when you see a gap like this now, and for a place like Lagos of all places. In fact, I know exactly who I'm going to ask this question.
But here's in my opinion, a simple solution.
In Lagos, asking them like, I heard this thing on our live.
Yeah.
And maybe see if he can maybe come here and explain it to us because this thing now is a little shocking to me that people where they are aware, people where they, maybe like my grandmother would say, state or city places where you get internet, you get whatever. Say that 3 locations and you never raise alarm. Make us we don't say that so it be. Or correct us even and say, okay, maybe it get a reason why that's in there.
It be like that.
No,
but Choma, hear me out on this, right? This a simpler solution that I think here, right? There should be an option. That temporary card, we can make it an option. So when you go, every information that you have that is going to be on the permanent one, put it on the temporary card. It's just that the temporary one is going to be paper. Then you laminate it. Then you have the option to say, do you still want the permanent one to be printed for you? Now, if you know that you're not going to come back and get that permanent one, you can say, no, I don't want it. I'm only going to use this temporary one. Don't worry about the permanent one.
But it won't work because because again, remember we're talking about always tailoring solutions to the reality of people, right? So those are way too many options. It makes people overstimulated. So for example, the reason why in the system's senior climates, they don't even go to that, they ask you this or this is because those options exist as real choices. In the solution you're giving, I understand it, I agree. But I feel like it's the next step, but it's not the next step. Like it's the next step that can, like I can see where that can be beneficial, but you have to think about like, that's why I said too, where if we can categorize the areas where these limitations we are seeing, where's the pattern of where it's going. We will know how to now tailor where that solution is. You put tumbo, or not tumbo, where you put options of how you want the next step to now happen. Because for example, now, think about the communities. I give you an example of Ife. Where Ife is from my house, where I'm registered to vote, right? In Mbise, it's kind of far. It's not a walking distance. But it's a distance that me that wanted to, for the first time, have Nigerian documents and have, have Nigerian voting documents and all of those things, wanted to sort of capture that. So, but then, I'm also privileged enough not for how to get there not to be a problem.
Yeah.
So if you want to give somebody then an option, is that Mr. Ofo? Okay,
finish on that thought. I want to see here why you think it's not a good option.
But not necessarily the next step, because then it's almost like, also think about that limitations of if they print it. I was even thinking too, that temporary card, right? Nigeria hasn't gotten to the point where they can print a permanent card in real time.
We do have some banks they print ATM.
We do, but I'm still even saying that, you have to always anticipate that there's going to be like barriers where they go, Nigeria, they go run out of something. Because even in America now, they know they can, but they know they do them. They will give them 1 week later because of, you don't want that backlog of right?
Yeah.
So again, because we know that the NIPOS situation is like this, and we know like the local places, how can you now put it in a local way? For example, most of those people who live in your constituency in the village, they know exactly when to go to those offices to pick them. Do they put extra hours? Do they, like, for me, if I was a billionaire, that's one of the things I'll be looking into. Like, if I'm running for office, like, is there a way to, because some of those communities, they're small where we say, for example, if you see my last name, you already know where that thing is because it puts the address there. What is there a thing that in the system that can even help to get it to as close enough? You could say this center, this primary school, they do pick up for people where do for Umara, like people where their group now for Umara or Ibeju or Ikoyi or whatever. We're doing PVC pickups, like, and you don't have to do it for like the whole duration of. You can just pick 1 month to say, we understand that this limitation day, where this place is too far for certain people, and we cannot open permanent locations for you to go do your PVC business. But they do them here and they call them pop-up, right? Pop-ups exist simply because
for a reason,
place. So if you can go to a community school in your place, now there's 3 locations where on a given day, maybe closer to the election, maybe 6 months to the election, all those people where you don't notice, say they are saying they cannot find transport, is too far, is too whatever, they don't, they are picking where go take them, whatever the excuse is. How can you do it in a practical way that doesn't require all these other extra maybe two
but the temporary one, I don't see why they still can't put all the information that you need to vote on that day. I don't know.
But all the information is there now, but remember that it doesn't have, it's like your ID card, for example. There's a reason why it's different from the temporary one you print.
I hear you, but the point, you can swipe because it's plastic, but you can, if the beavers can also have like a scanning this thing to just scan like the barcode, then you have the same information, right? If the beavers,
it has the same information. It looks even like that. It's just that one is just, it just has the.
So my point is, why go through the extra step of saying let us come back when you know that the coming back is always an issue? Why go through all that step? Why not just put all the information in that temporary one and give people options? Do you want the plastic one, or do you just want to keep this temporary one as your permanent one? Why go through the extra step?
Make it where they can use that temporary
one to do whatever they want to do. That's the point I'm driving at. Yeah, that solves this problem.
Of course, that's what I'm saying, that even in saner climates, it doesn't work like. There's a reason why there's a temporary and there's a permanent. And usually that permanent is designed for future things that you... Yeah. That card is not just now that we can use all of that. There are people who use it for their own, as their own major identification. So
absolutely.
we're all saying all the potential solutions, but nobody's owning these solutions. Like nobody... Like who would then own it? Me and you don't talk now. Mr. Fofi can't suggest the owner. Who now owns this part?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely. Anyway, we have Ofo back. It'd be like we'll go use Ofo end for today. We're almost at the 3-hour mark. But Mr. Ofo, if you want to unmute yourself, if you're here, if you can hear us.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully your network will allow us this time. All right. I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
I hope you people are here.
We can.
As I was saying before, do you know the problem is the masses? Look, so after we collect all the whole election, this thing, then before they count it, the party agents will enter, and they will bring another PVC. They will bring PVC. Then when you say accreditation, are you only there to confirm you? You understand?
Yep.
So if I put this PVC, every information is there. So it's only for me, personal, to confirm that you are the person.
Yeah.
You understand? So nothing will show that you are there permanent or not. So it's just me, personal, to confirm. And the information will come from, the order will come from above, that, okay, these are the people that cannot enter because of these elderly people. So you have to accredit this one person just to pass it. Do you see it now?
I think it's sort of what Blessed Dom also said as well.
Vote for 4 people.
Yeah.
Very easy. Then the problem now is that why will somebody give out his or her PVC to these people? Because even me, he pay me, but you can't do anything. Even if say you come outside and shout up and down, oh, why I raise alarm? Who will you tell? You understand?
Cameras, maybe.
So
cameras, right? And if this camera get the data for public facing, then people can go back there and say, see what they were doing that is malpractice, right?
Who will bring this camera out? Who will control this camera?
The government.
The order come from
people who say
above.
they want free and fair elections.
Okay. It seems like Kachi is very simple. You, were the officer. Chioma is at the polling unit. Then Chioma is close to you. Happen in that place.
You're breaking
You
out.
understand?
You're breaking
So
out. No, you
even
broke out.
if
You broke
Chioma
out.
insists that this platform is not well, you are the only person.
You're breaking out.
Do you hear me?
You're
So
breaking
if anything happen in this life, you are the only person to bring out the video.
Ah,
Are you hearing me now?
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Go
we can hear
ahead.
you now.
So even if they put camera now, if
Yeah.
this life now, let's use this life for example.
Yeah.
After this life, you are the only person to bring out this video
Okay.
on how everything happened. So if you edit it, anything Chioma like, may she explain to people. If you bring the video, it cancel everything.
I see what you're saying.
You understand?
I see what you're saying.
You know, human memory is very simple. It's very easy to confuse. Okay, remember, in 2023 election, they off the RF, this thing. Do you know why they just leave it for small time? They off it because they know that your memory cannot control what happened in your polling unit. So even if you count any number, if they upload it tomorrow, you will be contemplating in your mind. I think, is it not 50 we say we have? Is it not 30? Do you see it? So
I didn't
once
see that
two
one.
people
I didn't see
have
that
start to be arguing, the only person that have the right result is the person that control the camera or anything. So the only thing, it just start with the masses. Like sometimes if people were complaining about the election, I would say it's from the masses, because if somebody can give out his PVC just because of 1,000, I know people that give it just because of 500. Just give me 500 so that you will not stand for line. We will pass it. Do you see it? It's just very simple to convince people. All these party agents, they will just meet you, say, okay, do you want to stand for the sun, or do you want them to first attend to you? Just give me your PVC. They have done what they want to do. So if the person that they have used the PVC enter there now, the only thing the person will tell you, say, oh, leave this one, let him pass. They will do. If you put an, it not count again because they don't use them already. You understand? Yeah. So it's very easy. Only when you decide, okay, I want to sacrifice today and make sure that it counts. If I didn't vote, I know that I didn't vote. You understand? So there are many ways to manipulate. So when this boy is saying that, oh, one person vote 4 times, you will not say it's not possible. It's very easy, very simple.
I think Blessed Dom's explanation of it made more sense to me.
Sense. Than what the guy was saying.
Yours it's a little bit, you know, for lack of words, all over the place, you know. But the one way Blessed Dom explained, that one makes sense because it's just about the accreditation, right? If they have the PVCs, if somebody has 5 PVCs, you know, then it's just putting it in the machine and, you know, counting that one, just like Blessed Dom explained it. That makes sense. And I think you also started in that path when you were using the airplane. Say anybody can buy an airplane ticket, but it's going to board that the, you know, that the issue now will come out. So I hear you.
When I want to explain it, if you bought a plane ticket now, and I have your passport with that plane ticket card, you just like this PVC. So if I pass it in the machine, I will cross. You understand? The door will open, I think. So the only place
the door will open, but it's the human being now that will not, the human being where they allow you to go through, right?
So
yeah.
Now, So now I'm the agent in this
Yeah.
polling unit, and the Oga has told me that one person is there, is with four PVC.
Yeah.
Let him pass.
I
There's
hear you
nothing
in that
can
regard.
do.
I hear you. Now you they bring them home. I hear you. But yeah, Mr. Ofor, if you want, so in your opinion, what do you think about free and fair elections? You think it's going
So,
to
in
be a
your opinion, is
reality
that
at some
the-
point? Yeah.
The problem is the INEC, because I thought that INEC will at least start to give information on how things work, because the people, the masses, doesn't know how this thing work. Like, I think that the most important thing that people that need to know is the information that you don't have to sell your PVC.
I mean,
And if
INEC
you
doesn't need
vote,
to tell
this
you.
is how
INEC doesn't need to tell you not to
No,
give out.
INEC collect money for this. They need to pass information and educate people.
He's talking
You
about
understand?
like voter education, I guess.
Because INEC doesn't support anybody, so he needs to pass it to educate the masses.
Yes, I hear you, and I agree with you. But the point I'm making is, INEC does not need to tell you not to give your vote to somebody now. Everybody do
but
that
they
one.
don't need to tell you, but they can also say it. In fact, like anybody can say it, just like
Yeah.
all of us are saying.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't. It should go without saying, right, Kachi? Like you should have common sense to know not to
Common
do
sense.
that.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah,
common
but
sense. Yeah.
Even on cigarettes, they also tell you that it's going to buy you. You should know better, but
Yeah.
so
That makes
if it
sense.
was bound
So
for them
the
to
only
say
thing
it
is that
and tell you, it's
people,
part of voter
we need,
education.
All right, Mr.
people
Ofo, you go
need
use this
to
one.
be
Just round up so that
educated.
we'll go move forward.
People
Yeah.
need to be educated.
All right. All right.
So for me, I think that people need to be educated and let them make the right choice when they reach there.
Absolutely.
Despite anything they give you, just make your choice, because they give you opportunity that you are the only person to stand there and take your decision. So
All
you
right.
can come outside and tell me, oh, you do this in as much as you do the other one. So that is it.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Ofo,
very
and
much.
thank you for taking the time to get your internet thing sorted out and coming back again. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
All right. Make we bring. We have all opinion matters here. We'll go definitely use this one close for the day. I see him requesting. This is gonna be a good conversation. I'm a regular for my show, so make we hear waiting and get to talk. Let us hear. All right, Mr. All Opinion Matters. Thank you for joining. What are your thoughts? Free and fair elections in Nigeria, reality or illusion?
Hello, Kachi. Good evening.
Yep.
Free and fair election in Nigeria. I think free and fair election does not exist everywhere in the world. But however, our elections need to be fairer. I agree. And it takes more than just. The truth of the matter is that people do not generally understand what happens in the polling unit. If you look at, again, is there so many things that can go wrong during an election? Yes. But process-wise, are there things that are wrong with the process? No. First, every single political party is supposed to have a party agent at least to supervise the election at every polling unit. The party agent is going to be there because when you first get to the polling unit, the first thing that happens is accreditation.
Yeah.
The people that are going to be voting in that polling unit, you first do accreditation and everybody will go. And then they would have to come back for the normal voting.
Yeah.
The process of accreditation, every single political party is there. NDC, PDP, whatever the case,
Yep.
is there. So if there's any abnormality, you can note it, because every single political party also creates data collection center where everything that is going on in their political party, they send it to the people that they are reporting to. And those people, even to the election result, everything happens basically in the political party, and those people are going to be asking you for evidence, because if you are going to have any of this in court, it has to be evidenced, right?
Yeah.
So when the people come back,
But this is all things being equal, right? Because somebody made a claim that some people they vote 4 times, right? And even though that person could not articulate it, we've had 2 people, 2 other Blessedom and the last guy that just dropped, Ofochukwu, explain how it could happen, how it actually happens. Blessedom use an instance of, say, people will not come to vote at all, right? They could go and use and that's why this voters card, that's why they sell it, that's why they buy it, that's why they hoard it, and people who have access to the voters card, they go and accredit it, even when the person is not actually there, they go and accredit it to make it to add up to the total numbers of people that were accredited in that polling unit. And me and you know, saying a human being, they approve the accreditation, right? The beavers just reads the data, and a human being will say, okay, this data that I'm seeing, it's actually this person. So that human being side now we have the
fingerprint in call, Kachi.
Go ahead.
It's not fingerprint that we are using. The fingerprint in call. See, if you're telling me that they use somebody's PVC,
Yeah.
it means that maybe at the back end, after the state has collected the results,
The fingerprint is like a second option. It's not like the first option. The fingerprint is if they don't recognize the face. When you read the beavers and the agent, the INEC person, the NYC person sees the data and says, okay, yeah, this person looks, they don't go further to use the fingerprint, right? That's how it works, right?
yes.
Okay. So let's not ignore that then.
I do not even agree with that. But again, what I'm just only trying to say is that game of whatever you are checking is playable by any political party.
I'm not accusing anybody. I'm not accusing any particular political
what
party.
What I'm trying to say
Yeah.
is that even in the elections that we had, even in the like state elections, we saw the elections that happened in Anambra.
Yeah.
They were giving people liquid cash. The biggest.
But again,
election
you're making it very. You're being very specific. I've not said APC is doing it, or I'm saying it happens on all levels. It does happen.
I didn't mention political party. I want to talk about the biggest contributor to non-free and fair election is vote buying.
Yeah.
And that is dependent between politicians and the people that are selling. It's a transaction. You can blame politicians for buying, but you have to blame the people that are selling as well. You cannot make a trade and then say, me that are buying, I'm the only culprit. Why you that are selling is because of hunger. That rice that you're going to collect is not going to last you for 4 years. You do know. You know when you are selling it. People can say whatever they want to say, but you do know that rice is not going to last you for 4 years.
Absolutely.
If you have sold it in 1999, are you still eating the rice today?
Absolutely.
We know all these things. We can make excuses all the one because
and that's why I was pushing back on the last guest. The last guest was saying INEC needs to do voter education. It's good, and Choma also agrees with that. Voter education is good, but common sense is, and again, Choma said that's why they also write on cigarette. If you smoke, you go die. Something like that. But common sense is not to common or be common, but you get the point.
So the biggest contributor is vote buying. Apart from that, then we talk about family voting. Family voting is illegal in Nigeria and it's legal in most countries of the world, but people have made this so legal. If me and you are from the same family, if I'm going to the polling unit, that will not coerce you to vote for APC.
Vote buying is one. Voter, and I think it was Mr. Oye that used this term on this show today. Voter apathy is another one. And voter apathy is where, obviously, you know what it means. When people no come vote, those voters card now, where they accessible to the people where they commit this thing, they use it to accredit and put the number of accredited voters in that polling unit at a certain number. Now, when the people will actually come vote, the excess, they now use that one. That's where that's what happens.
No, but that's not what happens. Because at the end of the day, there is a form, EC8A form, that even your party agent is going to sign at the polling center. Say this is the number of people vote that we counted. So if the person did not come and they use this electoral material later, the number is not going to tally with what you signed that you took a copy of and you sent to your collation center.
Let me now ask you: have you seen any of these from EC8 form from EC8 where where they cancel? Would you have any explanation for why they cancel those ones?
They are even in the last one when they use the beavers, the explanations for the ones that was cancelled and everything good thing. But when you go to your collation center, that is why if you looked at the last trial that Peter Obi did and submitted, it came with different boxes and cases of electoral evidences. If I sign like for ETA,
the question is, what would be your explanation for the cancellation where they happen for?
Let me tell you now, because it is going to be multidimensional. I cannot microzone into one thing. But one thing I can say is that if I submit for my polling unit 6,000 votes, and they later find 8,000 votes with pencil written on it, do you know that in that particular case, in court, is null and void?
Absolutely, I know that. Yeah.
And so that means that the voting in that region, the court can decide for them to redo it or to cancel it.
But that's not why the cancellation on the EC8 forms happened. The cancellation they happen because then they change results. That's why it happens,
Yes,
right?
now, at what point are they changing results? Is it when the agent representing the party is there or after? Because when the agent in the party is there, whatever he signs, he has a copy of.
Absolutely. And that one, I know if he answered to
Yes.
you when the cancellation they happen. I know if he
that's
tell
what I'm
you.
saying that. So if for instance, I count 6,000 votes, and at the end of the day, they write 86,000 votes voted in my polling unit. I have the certified two copy of the ECATA form that was signed by all agents at that particular showing 6,000. MPC have 6,000, ABGA has 6,000, everybody has 6,000. How come where APC see 86,000? They will explain to the court.
And that is why the vote buying now. If me and you agree on a basic level that vote buying happens, don't you think that these agents can also be bought?
You see, that is why I always envy, like shout to political parties. It is not about paying people to represent you in polling units alone. You need to have people who have like minds of interest.
But do you agree though that these people can be bought?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I know all Nigerians can be bought. What I'm saying is that if I'm going for House of Rep in NDC, will I allow you to steal the vote of NDC? So
No.
what matters to me at that particular point in time is that we have collective interest. House of Rep, Senate, and President is on the same day.
But I'll just say this again, right? Because me and you, at least on a basic level, we don't agree on vote buying. Say people they sell their votes. Me and you don't agree on that one. Now human beings they sell. Now human beings they buy. The same basic knowledge of buying and selling. It also applies to the vote to the agents, the party agents, the INEC agents. It applies there. These people can also be bought. And that is why I'm bringing it back to the cancellations we've seen on the form EC8 form. This is part of the reason we see those cancellations happen. When these transactions take place, then go begin the change result. That's part of the reason why we see those cancellations.
Kasi, if we do go by this logic, we will need 16 million people to vote that election. Because after each process, we create another 2 FA, and that 3 FA, and that 4 FA, just to cross-check what each person is.
When you say FA, do you mean like factor authentication? Is that what you mean?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So if we are finished with, we say, okay, the people supervising is this thing, then we now create another level of checks for them, another level of checks for them, another level of checks for them. Even the camera you're talking about is not possible because what we do in Nigeria is secret ballot. When you enter that ballot, the place you are going to press this.
I'm not saying the camera should be zoned towards who you voted. No, the camera is looking at the wide the periphery, the area. That area is looking at the area. What is happening?
You can give the person the 4,000, and then the person will come from the next street to come and press it. It's not compulsory. You have to do it at the place of the or payment at the place of pressing the money. Now, we're in Nigeria, so we can always have so many processes to it. But what is more important is the collective response, the goal of people. If I am a local, for instance, now if NDC chooses me to represent them at a polling unit in a local government, and I'm running for councillor in NDC, the probability for me to go and collect 10,000 is lesser compared to when they just pay me 10,000 to go and represent them.
True.
And I have no vested interest. That is why political parties are the only means to get into offices in Nigeria, and there's no independent candidacy. You just need to join a group and then believe in the ideologies of that group if it exists.
But with your logic though, imagine a House of Rep, I don't know the numbers, right? The House of Rep member cannot be the agent of every polling unit. Because you're saying you have to have a vested interest. So that
I said councillor.
Councillor.
So, do you know the easiest thing for me to get to councillor in today's politics is for me to make sure that NDC wins Lagos State governor. Because have you seen any political party where the governor has won and they didn't sweep all the local government chairman and the councillorship? So I have vested interest then.
Okay.
So I do not. You do not need to give me 5,000 for me to go there alone, because my lord, the 5,000 is just like when you give me the 5,000, you don't tell me that you are paying me for the service. What you usually say is you are giving me mobilization.
Absolutely. Mr. All opinion matters. See, why you they always come for the end? I'm not saying I'm not necessarily good to go with this debate, right? I'm good to go, but come for the beginning of these conversations so that me and you and
And he
Choma
always comes.
go at it. I don't know that they plan
wish
me
you
every
could
time. He
tell we
comes at the
have enough
end. You they come for end, right? Come at the beginning so that we'll go there very prepared and have a lot of
Usually start
time.
at 3 too.
You know?
So
But I appreciate
No,
you,
no
my
one.
brother.
If you tell me what time we are starting, I would come at the time. But
Absolutely.
so whenever I come online and I meet the show, that's when I join.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And I
sure,
always
sure.
appreciate you coming. I appreciate you, my
Yes,
brother.
we do.
But if you have any final thoughts on the topic so that we can just move forward.
So that is why people always say that the politicians are the reflection of the society.
Yep.
And I always say it is more important for us to know that politicians don't create story. You can say whatever you want to say. Politicians create story. The tribalism we are talking about have been recognized since the day of Bernard Bodilon, when he was even Governor General, when Africans, Nigerians did not have any role. He was the first person that recognized that yeah, these differences, so let's create region. We know that these differences have been there. So politicians will rather look at, how do I use these differences to get to power?
Yeah.
They create story, they don't create it. The
Absolutely.
story exists already amongst us. So we should know that the more just because we want something to happen, we need to know that what matters the most is at the time of which the game is being played, what are the rules? If I play in the Nigerian Professional Football League, if I score a goal and referee says it's a goal, it's a goal.
Yeah.
If I play the same football in EDPL, if I score a goal, after the referee says it's a goal, VAR will still check.
Yeah.
Is my left leg offside? It does not mean that we are playing two different games.
Yeah.
You can always compare MPFL and English Premier League as much as you want, but we are still playing the game of football. So
Absolutely.
it is not compulsory that Nigeria is going to become USA tomorrow. But at the point of today's law that we have, how do we use today's law? In 2015, the APC used the law that was existing at that point in time to chase out Jonathan. They didn't ask you to create another law for them.
Yeah.
The politics is not going to run on emotion. Law is too trivial, it's too serious a topic to be devoid of logic.
Yeah.
The politicians today knows what the rule is. Coalition does not necessarily even mean that all of you must be in the same political party. If you support this person for president, support this person, say, NDC, we won't put any governorship in Lagos, we support ADC. ADC, don't put any governorship in Bayelsa, support us. We can even do coalition in that manner in order to balance the seat of power in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
It does not compulsory that everybody have to be one political party and then they will start bringing issue and bringing Nafi Ubala and everybody's going to a tasketer. There are so many ways to be able to resolve the same issue. But every single time, people want to run on emotions and not dwell on the logic behind and what is the rule of the game as time when you are playing it.
Absolutely.
It is always going to be a game. And everybody should be able to follow the game using the rules that exist as when the game is being played.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. All Opinion Matters. I
Solid
appreciate
point.
you. I tell Una, say this is always going to be a good debate with this guy when I think I play. But
no. I know all opinion matter. He brings it. He knows his audience.
I tell Una, this is how they
brings
play.
it every time.
In they bring them every time, but the only problem they come when the show not they close. I don't know that they target me. They target me with that strategy, but it's all good, my brother. Thank you so much always for joining, man. I appreciate you. Choma, any final thoughts before we call it a day today?
No, I agree with most of the points that have already been made thus far. I think the conclusion is that yes, it is systemic, but we are also part of that system in terms of how. One of the things he said that I always say is knowing the rules. Nigerians seem to be anti knowing the rules. They think that you're telling them to know the rules so that they can just support your argument. No, know the rules so that if you're breaking, say they break them. If you want to use them to get the upper hand, you go no. Because the truth of the matter is those rules or those loopholes in this case are benefiting someone, and someone is using it to get ahead so that the rest of us who are not running for office can be on the internet and be shouting about free and fair elections. So always ask yourself, who is benefiting from this and who is also extracting from the fact that this is not working. And this also speaks to the bigger thing that I always hammer on. If you're going to be opposition in 2031, 20 whatever, this is the time to start doing that opposition. Start putting people to disrupt the system also from the inside. Those are the people who bring us inside intel, right? Because there's no system that you can break from the outside. You feel taller, the boom boom, yeah, boom boom. But inside where that system is, that rot is, that thing that makes that free and fair election not possible. People inside are using those loopholes and those rules to put their people there to make sure that they insulate whatever it is that works for them.
Yep.
Okay. And in terms of answering that question, I think that with all the submissions, what we are reaching is that it is something that can be done, because I love the fact that people are bringing sort of different solutions that are not even too convoluted to understand, right? They are not too like out of the realm of reality or something that could potentially be reality, or if we're thinking about future states.
Yeah.
When people are talking about very practical, realistic things. And I think that's the burden of every person who identifies as a patriot. I think for me, as a patriot I want Nigeria to work. I'm not really interested in having a conversation with somebody who thinks that Nigeria is a zoo and it's not going to work. I want Nigeria to work. But because if it works, it moves me closer to Nigeria. It moves other people closer to the things they want to do.
Yep.
It moves the person who's working to maybe earning like a livable wage. Like Nigeria working is to the benefit of everybody, including the people who don't want it to work. So at that level, then, that responsibility of see something, say something. Like if you want it to be a reality, what does it take? Again, I talk about the same things over and over again because I feel like we haven't taken. Okay? End to end. It matters at every point. It's like if you're doing like a flow map or a flow chart or something, or process map, at every step of that, somebody has to own it. You have to be able to know who is responsible for that, who's going to be accountable for that, or who just needs to just stay informed on what's going on. But somebody has to own it.
Yep.
So if we have, because everybody who's Nigerian know what's in the problem be. Even before we come in this room, we don't already gather where this room fits go, based on to one or two of things that we know. Now that we as the people know these things, right? And then we want this to be not an illusion, something that is possible. What is attainable within the Nigeria that we know? What is attainable with the law that we know, the Electoral Act that we know? Familiarizing yourself also with the basic processes of how elections happen locally in your vicinity, in your constituency. So that, free and fair election conversations don't happen because you as an Igbo person who your voting polling unit is in Ezinihite, you are not registered there. You'll be shouting about free and fair election when it comes to presidential elections. But those other elections that happen that you're not voting in, they're also rigging there.
Yep.
And they are rigging in the people who are going to make sure that they maintain the status quo. They are the people who are going to collapse their networks. They're the people who are going to rig on behalf of the principal. Because what the principal is judging them on in terms of productivity is whether they are winning their polling units. So winning by every means necessary becomes a necessary evil that they must partake in.
Yep.
So you and your moralization and your philosophy and your nkewa, we will be on social media typing hashtags. But on the ground, in the local elections, where these people that you don't even know what they look like, when they start giving that call and doing all those things, do you even know what to do? Do you know? Okay, after you shout now, eyes on the judiciary, I know a judiciary. Nothing will come out of it.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for sharing your time with us and spending it with us. This has been informative. I noticed that a lot of bingos didn't know what to do because this is an intellectual conversation, so that is not the realm of where you operate. But stay tuned. We're gonna keep having these conversations. Politics season is coming. If you haven't gotten your voter's card and you don't know where you left it, go and find it. Because the truth of the matter is, votes don't only count when it goes your way.
Yep.
They also count in the enemy's camp.
Absolutely.
Or the other side's camp. Because
Absolutely.
who do the maths, they calculate their own win. So let's let's continue these type of conversations. I will see you guys, and shout out to the people on Facebook who are watching, YouTube. I salute you. All the other places that you are watching me from, those that are going to watch this in the future. Thank you. Appreciate you guys for being here. And thank you, Kachi. Of course, you are the best co-host.
Thank you. Shout out to Kachi. Thank you so much, Choma. Thank you so much, Choma. But hey, man, we had a good show today, and I appreciate all of you guys for being here. But we've come to the end of today. We did 3 hours, 30 minutes, call it 30 minutes. And it's
Actually, I need to do quick pause, but please.
Go ahead.
After this live, I'm gonna be live for an hour.
Okay.
For the bingos, because I know you guys have missed me. After here, come to my live.
Absolutely. We go there. We go there. No wahala. We go there. Absolutely. And we've come to the end of this one. All road leads to Chioma's page. Make we go Chioma's page. Go continue the conversation. But you go be with our brothers. Chioma said they no be our brothers, but our people, our Biafran people. We are going to go there and have that conversation with her. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. See you when we see you. Peace.
Bye.
All right.